Hey there, you're listening to You Still Going On About That with Rob Israel and Joseph K. You can find us anywhere you could download podcasts. You could also find us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at YSGOAT. Thanks for listening. I'm Rob Israel.
I'm Joseph K.
And you still going on about
that?
All right, Joseph. What's going on, man?
Not much, not much. Actually a whole bunch. We normally do like some pop culture stuff and then some news of the day stuff. But some big things happened recently, and we're gonna cover three big things, but like a whole bunch of little details in each one. And the first one is a person shot at Trump at his rally in Pennsylvania. That's the first thing.
Last Saturday.
Yeah, last Saturday. And it was real weird. It was very surreal. So we'll talk about that. And then the second thing is there's a lot of kind of chaos or mayhem. There's stuff going on with the Biden campaign in that some people are encouraging him to drop out of the race and let, I believe they want him to remain president, drop out of the race for re-election, and have someone take his place. And then the third thing that's going on is the Republican National Convention, where they nominated JD Vance as the vice presidential pick. And
Peter Thiel and Elon Musk nominated JD Vance.
Yes. Also, I think Trump is still giving his speech.
Yeah, he's still standing. Everyone left. The building is empty, and he's still rambling.
Yes, there's like a guy with a broom behind him.
There's a lot of freak show moments during the RNC convention that we're going to talk about. A lot of them happen tonight.
Yeah,
it is like, just say we don't. I can just say it's now for a bunch of fucking fascists and who have like a really scary policy, like the Project 2025. These are not serious people.
No, but they're being supported or used, or serious people are behind this.
Yeah, the serious people are working behind the scenes,
right? But the people on stage were more of a spectacle than anything else.
Spectacles being charitable.
Yeah, I mean, like it is weird, like to see. This is day 4. This is the big day of the Republican National Convention.
Yeah,
and the prime speakers were like Hulk Hogan and Kid Rock, and that's not serious.
Rock,
that's
sang or rapped,
but those are the big featured people, and then like
members of Trump's family interview, literally, that he would do on stage, like when he was in wrestling. It was bizarre.
I think they had Rita Repulsa for a little bit. Give a talk. But it
was a guy who stole money from a children's charity that was talking.
Right.
Children's. It was a cancer charity, like a charity for children with cancer. Yeah. And this guy stole the money, and he gets to like not be in prison. And he was giving the speech. Who is this guy? Do you know who he is?
Yeah, that is Eric Trump. Eric Trump.
Oh, that's a Trump. That's weird. Yes. Is he related to Donald Trump in any way?
They all are. We also had, I think
that's
the other
son.
Night, it's his son. There was Marcy Darcy and that lady who shot a puppy in the face with a shotgun. And they were a great headliner duo the night before.
All right. Well, let's talk about what happened Saturday last week. Trump was giving a rally. And well, first of all, what I heard was the marketing for this rally was all hell is going to break loose.
Oh,
so
geez.
That's weird.
Okay.
That was the marketing. That was like what was sent to Trump people to go attend. All hell is going to break loose.
Yes, I do remember seeing this now after the fact, but yes.
And then I remember seeing older tweets after the incident saying like how he was really late on stage, making people wait. Again, it was like another really hot day out.
A lot of people had passed out because there's no shade.
It's out in the open because from what I know, a lot of his rallies have been outside lately because one, he can't fill stadiums like he used to, and his campaign doesn't pay. And
That's a
so,
big one. Yes.
supposedly he's doing these in a lot of public spaces
They
that
use
really doesn't
municipal
cost anything.
parks and stuff like that.
Yeah,
True.
yeah. That's why they're a lot outdoors in the heat. And he showed up late. So I don't know. This was like 10 minutes into his speech. He's talking. He grabs his ear. He collapses down. You hear firing,
Well,
and
you
you just hear the
also
crowd all confused.
his shoes go flying off stage, which
Did you
was a
see that or something? Yeah, there was
yeah,
a
there's
video
video.
beside you.
Yeah, of his shoes.
I
And
don't even
as
understand how that happened, but
I don't either, but
because
that
he
is
wears lifts, right? And supposedly they're loose on him.
that was the theory, is that he wore lifts, and so when he ducked or fell or whatever he did, he fell out of his shoes, and one of the shoes goes flying off stage, and you can see like either a thick odor eater or some sort of device fly out of the shoe, and that's what people are saying. It's like a lift of some sort. But
Yeah.
anyway, so yeah, he then he goes down.
And the Secret Service grabs him. It's really weird when you watch the video. Like I always started my phone first, and then I was out, and then when I got home, I watched it on the TV to see it. And I just thought the whole thing was super weird. It played out, it felt very fake. There's something very weird about it. Secret Service is like talking, and they're like, "You got him? All right, we got him." He's like, "I'm okay, I'm gonna get up." He gets up, they're holding him up for a minute. He raises his fist, says fight, fight, and
Yeah,
the crowd goes nuts. Uh, the guy who claims to be JFK Jr. was there in the
yeah, I
background,
saw
which is
him.
kind of
Yep.
funny that a fake JFK Jr.
Right.
was at a fake assassination attempt. It's ironic
Well,
when you think about it. And he he's got blood coming out of the side of his head, and it looks like it's coming out of his ear. I don't know. It's weird. It's not splattered anywhere. It doesn't make any sense. You would think it would like be on his shirt at least, or
yeah. It,
and then he gets carried up the stage. Now the thing that now we'll get into everything in a minute. The thing I find bizarre about the whole thing is,
mm,
okay, he gets shot. They grab him.
yes.
Why did they take so long to get him off the stage? Why why would they let him expose his arm and body out so
Yeah.
he could say fight and pose for a photo that was sold on t-shirts literally within minutes in like on
Right.
boardwalks stuff. Like literally within minutes, people were selling shirts of this photo. Because I mean, that's not like a conspiracy. People have DTG printers. This
Oh
shit
yeah.
can be knocked out very quickly. You
You
could
can,
have
if you
shirts
have an
ready
image, you
within.
can do direct shipping, drop printing or so. I mean, you
I
can,
mean,
yeah.
you just print them out. If you have a store and you have a printer in the back, you could be selling those shirts and within an hour. If you have a bunch of blanks ready to go. Um, and they finally get him off stage. The whole thing is bizarre. Like people were showing the Reagan assassination video and showing how he was completely covered and pulled away. They didn't let
Yeah.
him get
Well, there was
exposed. And
people were
the whole thing.
showing the image of Trump, I don't know, like a couple of years ago when they thought there was a threat. There wasn't a threat.
Right.
And
And
the
that was
secret,
very different.
yes, Trump
That
looked
looked real.
very afraid. He was startled. He was acting natural. I mean, he wasn't like I'm not suggesting he was acting, coward. He was just like, "Oh, what's going on?" And the Secret Service jumped on him and kind of pushed him down and like kind of pushed him off stage in a crouched position. That all looked real normal. Like that's how I would
That
imagine that to
looked
go.
like genuine.
Yeah.
This looked fake as fuck. Now, the
It,
thing that's disturbing about the whole thing is someone did die
oh
and two
yeah.
people got injured.
Yeah.
And then you find out, you hear more weird things about like, okay, so these events are planned out
Yep.
and yes, Secret Service. Why wasn't there why was there a building that was not being covered?
Yeah.
There was a guy on a roof not far away. That was the shooter. This guy, one of the MAGA guys that was there, was being interviewed. He kind of looked like the O face guy from
Yeah.
Office Space.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, oh, oh. Like he had a headband on this
Yeah.
guy. It was
Yeah.
really fun. And he was talking about how like they were telling like cops or something, like there's a guy up there, you should
Yeah,
like check it out. And no one, they was supposedly a cop that did go up there and like immediately went down.
right. He
They
saw the guy
saw a
had a gun
guy
and went,
with the
yeah,
gun. Yeah. And then this kid, he's like 20 years old. He's taken out immediately. They kill him immediately. You find out like everyone's like, oh no, like of course something like this happens. Right's could have used this as some kind of like attack on brown people,
yep,
gay
yeah,
people, but the attempted, well, he was a murderer because he did kill
yeah. He killed
somebody.
a firefighter. Yeah,
Yeah, and then you find out he's like a Trump supporter. He comes from like a family of Trump supporters. Like they've had
yeah.
like signs on their wall. Now, supposedly this guy had plans to go do the same thing to Biden too.
That yes, he had been from what I understand, and I think a lot of the news is kind of still trickling out. He had researched both Trump and Biden, and the theory I've heard from the most people is that he was just kind of a picked on, bullied kid and wanted to make a name
Yeah,
for
that sounds
himself
so
by
typical.
it
That
does. I
sounds
mean, it
so
really
typical.
does. I mean, it doesn't anyway. Um,
But now isn't the right trying to create some conspiracy? There's that one congressman guy who's like trying to create a conspiracy about it, saying like
yeah,
they tried to kill Trump.
yes.
Like
I
it
don't
wasn't this kid, it was like some
I don't know how much they
bogus.
believe that, but because I've seen some Congress people say they tried to kill Trump, and then the reporter's like, "Well, who do you mean?" And the way they kind of work their way around that is saying that like because everyone has been mean to Trump, that has made people want to shoot Trump, and so that's what we mean by they are trying to kill Trump. Like like a bartender who serves too many drinks to a person didn't necessarily get behind the wheel him or herself, but they did it. That's kind of the logic they're using. um I don't know. The thing that strikes me is th- I think the one thing everyone agrees on, like left and right, is that there's some real serious questions about like what happened, why, how could this have happened? um but then the weirder questions are the response to the shooting in the moments after. The Secret Service did seem just, I don't know what they were doing. It all
Yeah.
seemed staged. It seemed staged. And then the funny question after the fact is that like we've never seen a medical report. We've seen photos
No,
of his ear that looks fine. There's a lot of like photos suggesting that it was the bullet hit a teleprompter and the teleprompter hit his ear like a shard of glass or plastic or something.
they, but they said
Um,
it was a bullet, and he still says it's a bullet. And people were like, if it was that bullet from that gun, it would have
yeah,
blew a
like
hole, it would have blew a chunk of his ear off, or blew his ear off completely.
right.
Also, the way he fell, the
It
way like
just
he would have been
yeah,
bruised, he would have had bruises on him, he would have had like this whole thing feels very phony. And I know
it's
like
still a
this is
good
not
story.
this is not Sandy
It,
Hook level shit. This is
no,
like
well, we
Donald
all saw
Trump is
this.
a
I mean, we all saw
serial.
this in real time.
Yeah, we all saw this. Donald Trump is a serial liar. He's a liar. He lies.
Well,
He's a con man. He's a liar. And this is not a look. Let's see what happens. Biden delivers a awful debate,
yeah,
right? And then people are like calling for him. And Trump, you don't even see him for like 2 weeks, basically.
right,
He just disappears. Like, I'm just gonna let Biden like get all the flack. And
right,
then but then within that time period, you find out this information about from Ghislaine Maxwell's like hearing or something comes out, and it
right.
just shows how connected Trump was to Epstein, how much all this disturbing shit that came out, this 13-year-old girl, like all this disgusting stuff that we kind of already knew about for years, but
Hmm.
now is fully confirmed. So you got that brewing. The media wouldn't even touch it. We start seeing that brewing. Biden gives like an interview or two. They're like, whatever. He does his what do you call it? What's the global alliance thing? What is it?
Oh yeah, he went
NATO.
over NATO. Yeah,
He does that. He's pretty successful at it. He flubs some names, whatever, but and then he gives this like amazing campaign speech in Detroit.
Yeah.
where, and that was Friday night. And that was, everybody's like saying, lock him up. He's calling Trump a rapist.
Yep. And things have
And then
started to ease up for
it looked
Biden.
like things were starting to like, okay, like we got this. Like
Right.
this, he just needs like, he needs like the people to root for him or something. I don't know. Like he even said, yeah, I screw up words, but he's like, so did the other guy. He said that
Right.
Nancy
Yeah.
Pelosi was, he said that Nikki Haley was Nancy Pelosi.
All true. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's 100% true. Like he said that he gets names wrong all the time. And then he said something about like crosshairs or whatever. Some it Naki was comment that was just like basically
Yeah.
saying
Yeah.
that the media is giving Trump a fair, that's it. It's over now. Like time's up. They have to now go after him. Like,
Yeah.
and then Biden gives us an interview with Lester Holt, and Lester Holt's like telling him like, oh, you need to cool the temperature. And Biden's like, wait, so if I bring up
Yeah.
I bring up the fascism, the things that they want to do, I'm the bad guy. Like
Yeah.
I'm trying to let people know what these people plan on doing. And like, well, Lester Holt sucks. Like the whole media sucks. They've given away the game. We know which president they really want Trump back for some insane. I don't even know why, because I don't think it's because he's good for ratings. I think he's incredibly boring now. I think it's more just like they want him back because he'll be a rubber stamp for like whatever mergers they want to do, whatever,
Yeah.
buybacks, tax cuts. I mean, he said he's going to do he's going to bring corporate taxes to 15% or something insane.
Yeah.
Like the country's going to collapse. Like there will be no social programs. There'll be nothing. I mean, like
Right.
you, he's going to raise taxes on the middle class and the working class. Like, well, they ain't going to be a middle class when it's all said and done. There ain't no
Yeah.
middle class. It'll just be all working class, with some people have a little more than others. But so, Biden's like things are turning around with Biden, and then all of a sudden this bullshit happens at one of Trump's rallies, and no one now everybody's just like, we're praying for Trump, praying for him. He's lying. You see
Yeah.
Tim Scott's speech where he
Yeah.
roared. He roared. Tim Scott's such a dork. Like what a
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
and then like the lion, he roared. His voice is so
I
weird.
I think
Like a
that's
weirdo.
the part to me that is just like eye rolling is the revision of this, and I saw it a lot tonight. Like, let's just say things happened the way they happened, and Trump got shot at and narrowly escaped injury. You know, that's a good story that you can run on that story. That is kind of interesting, and you can, but he couldn't just let that go at that. He's talking tonight on the stage about how there's blood everywhere and how people thought he was dead. And I was like, none of that happened. None of
He
that
sounds
happened.
like Cartman. There's an
There was,
episode of South Park where Cartman comes over to Jimmy's house. I don't know, Jimmy is on South
yeah,
Park?
yeah, yeah,
He's the crippled kid. He's like a
right,
comedian. He makes a funny joke, and Cartman's there, and Cartman's doing nothing. Cartman's literally just sitting on his sofa eating cheesy poofs. He's not even helping Jimmy. Jimmy comes up with a joke. Cartman laughs, and then everyone thinks the joke is funny. And the episode, what's great about the episode is every other scene, the story becomes more elaborate. So Cartman lies and
is
makes it
this
look
the
like
one
he
with
was sitting
is
with
this the Kanye West joke, or is,
the fish stick. Yeah, I think
yeah,
it is.
okay, yeah,
Jimmy comes up with the joke.
yeah,
Cartman is taking credit for it, and he's sitting there. It starts with him just sitting at the table now with Jimmy and coming up with the joke. And he's like,
right,
yeah, we
right,
came up with the joke together. But then the next one is now Jimmy's on the soap, Cartman's the one writing the joke. And then the next scene now is people tried stealing the jokes, and
right, right.
Cartman had to fight them off. And then the last one's like him fighting a dragon. It just gets more and more like the lie. And that's what's going on with
It
Trump.
is.
Within a month, Trump's gonna be talking about how he fought 6 ninjas on
Right.
stage.
But it's just so like it's so unnecessary. He can't help it. That's the frustrating part is that like I saw this. I saw this like there was so little blood on his face. I mean, it was
He
like
made it sound like he was oozing, like he
right.
lost
That's what he was saying.
like
He was
someone
like,
cut
there's blood everywhere. How could there be so much blood? And I'm like,
he made
okay,
it like it was like when you're watching like an anime and like blood
right,
sprays out
yeah.
it when it's something
It's
and
just
they
like
got
a
in a shower of
geyser.
blood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he was talking about how like everyone thought he was dead, and there was a hush and then God himself. And I'm like, okay, two things here. One, none of that is necessary. It was a good story. You had a good story. You should have. The correct strategy there, as most people know, is to downplay it and say, yeah,
He's lying. He's just straight up lying. That's the
it's so
reality. And that's
crazy.
the proof that he's lying because
They
it would not, I'm sorry, I don't think it's conspiratorial to think that Trump would not be above like make it look real.
Yeah.
And if a couple of the people in the audience get killed, you think, I mean, this motherfucker got
Well,
people arrested. He told them to drink bleach
did you see
during
that?
COVID. He told them to take oxychloroquine, which could be a deadly
Yeah.
drug for people who don't need it. He told people, I don't know if he ever told people to use ivermectin, but his people did.
Did you ever
He,
see people talking about Bob Roberts, that movie? Have you heard that
yeah,
lately?
I'm the one who tweeted about it. And I told you about it. I said that Bob Roberts, I said that I literally right after Trump got shot, I tweeted, you guys ever seen the movie Bob Roberts?
Oh, I don't remember you tweeting me that.
I sent it to you.
Well, it has that veneer to it. Like
I
I
thought you never
don't.
saw that movie.
No, I never saw Bob Roberts. No, but I
Yeah.
people were talking about it afterwards,
There's
and
there's a shooting that happens and they blame it on like it's kind of like a Mumia guy, that guy Mumia. I don't know if you ever
yeah,
heard of
yeah,
him.
Eric Mumia, yeah,
Yeah, the guy who's been for like it sounds like he was falsely accused of killing a cop or something. He's been in prison for like decades.
yeah,
I would always see Free Mumia. I don't know. Supposedly he did the story, like it doesn't even matter, but they made him out to be like a monster or whatever. But it was kind of like they found some like leftist activists and they blamed the shooting on him. And the joke was that the guy had like severe arthritis, and there was no way possible that he could even hold. This is in the movie Bob Roberts,
yeah, yeah.
the guy who they end up arresting for shooting Bob Roberts.
Well,
They they
wasn't
accused
two
him
he
of
was never
shooting.
shot?
No, he shot. They just they did it themselves. They arranged it. They shoot him in a
Oh, okay.
ways that does it where he'll be injured, but he won't perish. He won't have any long
Mm,
lasting. That they don't outright say it, but it's alluded to. Either way, they blame it on this guy, and the joke is, and the media goes along with it, and the joke is like, there's no way this guy could have done it because he
right.
couldn't even squeeze a trigger or even
Yeah,
hold
he
a
had
gun
like
if he
some sort of
wanted to.
palsy or something.
He had like
Yeah,
severe arthritis or whatever. Yeah, and he gets ended up getting locked up, and then Bob Roberts gets a sympathy vote, and he ends up getting in. And he's like a full-on fascist. It's a great movie. You should highly watch it. It's kind of funny too because everything that's going on with Jack Black. Jack Black's also in Bob Roberts. It's like one of his first movies. He
oh,
plays
okay,
like a
yeah.
psycho. He plays like one of like Bob Roberts like insane supporters, young
Jeez.
supporters. Yeah. So I don't know if speaking of Jack Black, so that weekend or whatever, uh, Jack Black, Tenacious D was playing, I think, in Australia,
Right.
and it was Kyle Glass's birthday, and they were singing on stage, and they were saying happy birthday, and they brought a cake out, and he tells, you know, Kyle Glass, like, make a wish, and Kyle Glass makes a joke and says, don't miss Trump next time, whatever, and everyone's like, laughs, they're like, yeah, and then,
Yeah.
like, some people got pissed about it, of course, because, it's crazy, like, all those people those defenders of free speech and humor, you
Yeah.
know, dark humor, all those people, they didn't find that funny at all. And I was like, what? Trump's not president. He's just I mean, he's a candidate, but he's not president.
Yeah.
He's just some dude right now, like taking up space. He's like occupying our fucking time.
Well,
But like, whatever. Yeah. Is it tasteless? Yeah,
yeah,
of
of
course. But
course.
they're comedians. We're supposed to allow these comedians to say whatever they want.
Yeah.
We're supposed to, they're the people with ideas. Like we're supposed,
It is a lot to
they're
deal
the
with. I mean,
arbiters of truth. They're the, I mean, like make up your fucking mind. Like,
well,
and
and
I got I
the
got
same
some
people
beef
that
with some.
were going on and on about how funny it was that Nancy Pelosi's husband was almost
Yeah,
killed with a hammer are
right.
the
Yeah.
same people that say, well, we can't, this is too
Can
serious.
Donald Trump prove that Brooks was not his gay lover?
Yeah. I
I
mean,
mean,
that's
I want some proof. I want to see the medical records, and I want some proof that this young man was not Donald Trump's side piece.
I would
Uh,
I would
I
settle
think
for just a doctor's statement saying like this is what he was brought in for and this is what we treated him for. I mean, like that's
well,
like
hold on.
a
Back to Tenacious D real quick.
oh yeah, yeah.
Kyle Glass, all of a sudden, Jack Black puts out a statement basically saying that the tour's off, uh, and that Tenacious D's on hold for the time being. Like he
Yeah.
doesn't know what the future's gonna be. And then Kyle Glass got fired by his fucking agent.
That was real weird. I mean, I
Like it's this bullshit. It's like look at the only people that ever get canceled are the ones that say something or whatever that might be off color about Trump. Look what happened to Kathy Griffin. She
yeah,
lost her job.
that's the
She
big
got
one. Yeah.
fucked. She got fucked. She was canceled. She was canceled. Dave Chappelle did not get canceled for making fun of trans people. He was rewarded multiple times for doing it. Oh, let's see. Dave Chappelle he gets multiple Netflix specials after, appears on SNL multiple times, wins a Mark Twain Award, wins Grammys. Wow, getting canceled. That must have been really tough for him. I don't know I hope he was able to pull through. Kyle Glass was canceled. Kyle
Yeah.
Glass was actually canceled. Kathy Griffin was actually canceled.
Yeah,
Like,
Kathy Griffin for sure. The
none of
Kyle
these
Gas
motherfuckers
things.
that cry about getting canceled are ever actually canceled. But the ones that do get canceled, you don't hear from them.
Well,
CNN
so
dropped
yeah,
her like a stone. They didn't even.
yeah. Celebrities rarely truly get canceled, or if they do,
Well, it seems
it's
like the
like
ones that
a
get canceled are the ones that make like an off-color joke about like a Republican politician like
yeah,
Trump.
or
It's
like a
never a person who gets uh some attacking a marginalized group, punching down on a marginalized
no,
group.
no.
Like,
The people
no,
that do get canceled aren't.
Kathy Griffin was fucking canceled. Like that was like the definition. When you lose your jobs, when you lose your living, and you lose your chance of getting other work,
Yeah,
you are canceled.
I would say
Like
that it's those instances, and the only other instances are like egregious offenses like Cosby or Louis C.K. I mean, those people.
Louis
That's not.
C.K. Wait, Louis C.K. wasn't canceled. He won Grammys. He's gone on tours where he sells out
I would
arenas
say
and
like, look. I mean,
that's
I
not canceled. That's not
yeah.
canceled. Kyle
He
Glass
got
was
consequences for
fucking
his
canceled.
actions. Yeah, no,
What?
I think we're talking about two different things. I think we're talking
Louis
about
C.K. never faced any criminal like Bill
his
Cosby.
show
You could
got
say
canceled. I mean, like
I don't. I
I'm
think we're
not.
talking about two different things.
That's what I said. I think we're talking about two different things.
I'm talking about whatever. Like Louis C.K. Yes, his show was canceled. I don't even know if that show was going to get renewed anyway. It was on for a bunch of years, and it was like a weird show. He did it whenever he fucking felt like doing it.
Yeah, yeah,
Bill Cosby went to fucking jail, so you could say,
yeah.
of
He
course,
got
that was
canceled.
well, rightfully he was a rapist. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah. Well, that was my
he's
point. Is that
canceled.
like
Why? I'll rape about 60 women over a 4-decade
there's
period.
there's a difference
Like,
between being uh, like consequence because you committed crimes and you're not like production companies don't want to insure you anymore because
well, it's like
you
Army
like
Hammer was on like Bill Maher. I saw something where Army Hammer was on like Bill Maher
yeah,
not too long ago on his stupid podcast, and he has him on thinking like, okay, this guy was canceled. It's like, well, why was Army Hammer canceled? Well, there was a bunch of stuff that came out about him, and he was abusive, and that he kind of was like a cannibal.
oh god,
So people they don't want to work
yeah,
with him. Another
that'll
good
do it.
example of was what's that comedian's name? He was in Deadpool. He was like a voice in those How to Train
Oh
Your
yeah,
Dragon movies.
I was just reading about him the other day. Uh I know you're talking. He was like Deadpool's sidekick.
Yeah, what's his name?
What was his character's name? That wasn't like it wasn't Weasel. It was
I don't even remember his
uh
like fucking name. Oh,
Weasel.
TJ
It
Miller.
was.
He
Yeah,
went on
his
some
character name
interview.
was Weasel.
Yeah, okay. He went on some interview and he was talking about how he didn't even want to be in Deadpool 3. And then people
Right.
brought up like, it's because he's insane. He put like a bomb threat through. He's like
Yeah.
incredibly abusive. It's like, yeah, people don't want to
Yeah.
work with you. You were never going to come back to Deadpool 3. It was not up to you.
Yeah.
They weren't going to hire you.
Right.
Like I don't know if you remember, like fucking what's his face hated him so much that he killed him off like earlier in the movie than he should
Yeah,
have.
right. He was like,
Transformers 4, like fucking Michael Bay supposedly hated this guy so much that, and he gave him like this crazy death too. It was pretty
that's
funny.
funny.
It was brutal.
Well,
I'm saying no, I don't think it's right what happened to Kyle Glass. I get why Jack Black though is like, listen, I'm gonna take a break from this guy because Jack Black is connected to the but he is a kind of like well, he's a much bigger celebrity. He's got a
yeah,
lot more to lose. I mean, Kyle Glass. So someone posts like he has like 1/16 of what Jack Black's wealth. Well, Jack Black's done a lot more stuff. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like,
yeah. He's and Jack Black has like kind of deftly walked the line between kind of like raunchy stuff and real
being a
family
fucking
friendly stuff.
children's entertainer. Like,
Yeah, I mean
yeah, I
he
know it's fucking weird. Like, if you ever listen to like Tenacious D lyrics, they're
yeah,
like
they're
raunchy.
all
Hell, my
yeah,
son would listen to when he was younger, and I'm like,
yeah.
the hell, man!
They're
I saw you No Gabba Gab. You're talking about friendship and everything. Or a version of DJ Lance Rock's outfit, and now you're I'm gonna grind that pussy. Like,
talking about
what
like
the
kielbasa
fuck is going?
sausage and stuff. Like,
Yeah, like what is
yeah,
going on here? But I get like why he's like, I'm gonna take a break.
I would too. I mean, like, I don't blame him
I get
only
it, but
from like
he's connected to the Biden campaign. And the
yeah,
last thing you want to do is
right.
allow a narrative to happen where you hurt the Biden campaign by, making jokes about Trump getting assassinated.
Yeah, I just think that that is the part that like probably bothers me the most, and that I find the most fascinating, separate from like people shooting people at political events, but like how it started. Like Trump couldn't just let it go as like a good story of what really happened, and now tonight on the last night of the RNC, his blood was everywhere. He almost died, and then it
Yeah.
was like a
The whole
chorus of
blood, people were
angels.
slipping on my blood. They were
God
slipping,
himself came
falling.
down, and like you look out the crowd, people are like crying and shit in the
Angel of
crowd.
Jeffrey Epstein helped me dodge the bullet.
People have stapled maxi pads to the side of their head and stuff. I mean, it's just like
It's
a
staple it.
bizarre stuff. I mean, like
Yeah, he was caught golfing the next day,
why couldn't
supposedly.
you just tell what really happened that we all saw? Because that is still a
Because
good
he has
story.
to make it more than it is. He's got to
Still
bit
a good,
brag. He's got
yeah.
to like make
It's
himself look like he's this tough guy. If
so
he just says,
frustrating.
"Yeah, it was no big deal," thank God for the Secret Service. They did a great job.
Yeah,
And then you see the right attacking that poor woman. That was the one that like
yeah,
technically saved him.
yeah.
And they're like
Um,
calling her a DEI hire, and they're saying like
yeah.
she's Melissa McCarthy. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with these people? What
It's
is
just,
wrong with these
yeah,
people?
it is
And then
something.
like so then the shooter, okay, so real quick, when I was saying though about like I don't even know. So the shooter
Yeah.
is named, you know the guy's name?
His last name is Crooks. Let's see, his first name is it Michael or something? Uh, geez, what is it? Thomas Matthew Crooks
Yeah. So
was
he's
the
like this
kid's
20-year-old
name.
kid. You
Yep.
find out he has no social media. They can't even find anything on social media about him. The kids in the area said that he had some friends, so he wasn't a complete loner. He had some friends. He was just a weirdo. He was picked on. They said he was conservative. There was like this one guy interviewed who said he wasn't. I think that guy was full of shit. I
Yeah.
believe the other people. There was Trump signs on the lawn.
His
The
parents are real big
parents,
Trump supporters.
yeah, they're supposedly like therapists or something. And it was
Jeez.
the father's gun, right? I mean, it was the father's
Yeah, the
gun that
the
used.
father had owned the gun for like 15 years.
Yeah.
Oh, and here's a little weird tidbit that came out afterwards. I'm surprised this came out. The Trump campaign has a huge database where they keep track of gun owners.
Yeah. Which is
And
insane
like,
because this is the thing they fight. They don't want the government to have a
right,
database on gun owners, but they have one so they can
they
market to gun owners,
yeah, they built a really in-depth database
which is
of
funny that the Trump supporters are like, I'm fine with that. And it's
I
like,
wonder where they got the
you realize they
information.
can
Like,
just use that for the government easily.
yeah. And like where did you get the info? Like, how did you build this database? That's the real question. It's like, how do you how do you build it? Like, what sources did you use? How did you? Because like they had like talked a little bit about the database and how it narrowed it down to like the likelihood you owned a gun versus the likelihood that you felt strongly about gun rights if you were an NRA member. Like, some of it's clearly data you could just buy from the NRA, but other parts were like, no, this data is coming from like some source, like a government source or something. I don't know, but that was kind of a weird little side story to it that no one's talked about yet, I don't think.
Well, that is a big deal that they have that information, and it's like again, it's like the same thing how a lot of these MAGA chuds usually are, where they're like, I remember during the Obama years, they're like, they're trying to give us a national ID so they can put us in
Yeah,
a FEMA camp. It's like, dude, they don't need to do that. Do you have a credit card?
right.
Do you have a phone?
Did you
Because
sign up
smartphones
for
were
Elon
around.
Musk's brain chip? Did you sign
Yeah,
up for
like,
that?
do you have any of these things? Guess what? They could track you anywhere.
Yeah. If you have a smartphone,
If
then
you have my phone
it's
as a
done.
GPS, it
Yeah.
knows exactly where I'm going half the time. It like predicts
Yeah.
when I put it on my phone on the car, it'll predict that I'm going to the post office.
My phone knows
It'll
when I
be
like
like,
to
here's the
nap.
directions. Usually around this time, you usually go to this
Yeah.
place.
It's
Here we
yep.
go. Like, we already got you tracked. Here's a good, and I'm like, haha, I'm gonna go a different block.
Right.
You'll never know.
I'm going to the Wiggly Piggly. I'm going to
Yeah, the Wiggly Piggly. I don't know what that is, but
the opposite of
it's
Piggly Wiggly, where you would
yeah,
normally
it's
go.
yeah, it's the Bizarro Piggly Wiggly. Um,
uh
so this kid, like, supposedly though, they found him like in a BlackRock video, like he was in an ad
oh
or
really? I
some
didn't know that.
weird video. Yeah, he's like, the whole thing is bizarre.
It
Everything
is.
about it. There was this one account I saw on Twitter. She was funny. She was just basically like, I'm just gonna say flat out, they paid this kid, this Trump supporter, to shoot Trump, make it look real. They probably lied to him, said that he'd be okay, and that he wouldn't, nothing would happen to
Yeah.
him.
I don't
And
know. I mean, like, he's on a rooftop. He's got to know he's going to get caught
but
or
it's like,
whatever.
why didn't the Secret Service, why didn't the cops? They would have had that whole perimeter would have been
Yeah.
covered. They said that there was a guy talking about like how there would have been Secret Service on that roof.
Yeah. I
They
have to
showed secrets.
say,
Did you see the photo with the snipers on the roof near Trump?
yeah. Yeah.
But they would also be snipers on all the roofs,
Well, that's one of
pounding
the,
360.
yeah, one of the downsides is,
I'm not an expert on security and everything like that. It just seems, that
well,
makes sense.
they said that there's a perimeter and whatever's in the perimeter is Secret Service and whatever's outside of the perimeter is state or local cops. And that building was outside the perimeter. Probably should have been inside the perimeter, but it wasn't, so that's why there was no Secret Service there.
But then you hear the story about the cop going up there, seeing the kid with the gun and being like, "Oh, I'm out of here," and it's like, okay, so Trump got Uvalde? Like, really?
Well,
Like,
he
is
did, yeah.
that really what happened?
I think I was talking to my dad about this. I told you too. I was like, if you asked a dozen people at a grocery store, what would you do to protect the president? I'll bet you at least six of them, at least half the people you ask would say, "Oh, I'd put someone on that building." You know what I mean? On the roof. Like,
Yeah.
that's not a hard this I'd be more worried about like a drone dropping in and with a hand grenade or something. I mean, there'd be a
Yeah.
bunch of things that I would be like, well, I can't control that, or whatever. But like, if there's some fucking rooftop that's got a clear sight line to the stage, I would
Yeah.
be like, yeah, I would check that out. Like,
We
I
should
think
cover that one.
yeah, anyone would. Like, little kids would be
This
like,
is
yeah,
an
this
easy. This is easy.
right, yeah. I mean, that's
Yeah, it makes no sense. The whole thing makes really no sense at all. And then they were trying to spread some bullshit about like Iranians trying to attack them
yeah.
recently.
I did see a couple congresspersons, Republicans, like real lunatics, come out this evening and say they don't think that's the case anymore. They think it was a a random shooter.
Okay. Thought they were just trying to gin up some shit.
I think they
So, which
were
they
at
probably,
first,
yeah.
but I
And then
think that
And then that guy trying to pull some bullshit, that one congressman who claims he's like I don't know, some kind of security experts, and he was the one saying that they tried to shoot
Oh
Trump or
yeah.
something. They're trying to.
Um,
What's his
Tom,
face announced that Congress is going to do an investigation on it
yeah,
next or something.
good. I mean, I'd say they probably should. I all weirdness aside, like if this happened to literally anyone other than Trump, who never had a like if it happened to a congressperson who never had a history of lying or making shit up or staging things or whatever, um, you can't have a country where people shoot people
Well,
like
it's
that,
been going on forever.
Yeah.
Like I
No,
said, Gabby Gifford, Tom Scalise, two recent examples.
yeah,
Tom Scalise had half his body blown out, and he still
yeah.
supports the AR-15, which is insane. Um, that's why I always said like the days of what was that one Republican who was shot with same day Reagan was, and
Uh,
The Brady Bill.
Brady Bill, yeah,
Yeah,
Brady.
yeah, you'll never see anything like that again. Not
No,
with the Republicans, at least. Um, it's I will say, oh, Biden missed one opportunity, something the Dems. Maybe it didn't
yeah,
need to be Biden. It could have been the Democrats in general. Should just start saying like what happened to Trump is all devastating, and we, wish him well and pray for his family. But we also think that clearly, an AR-15 was used by
yeah,
the shooter, the attempted assassin, or whatever.
yeah.
Like we now is the time to put in gun control.
Well, and Ron
And
DeSantis served him up a perfect opportunity because he said, like, what, how is a person allowed to have a gun in public there? So he said something to that effect, and it was like,
which is insane because he's made it easy for people to get
yeah,
guns
in
in the
theory,
state.
like if I wanted to strap a rifle on my back and walk into the local, Applebee's or whatever, I could. In Texas, I
Yeah,
could do that. Then
yeah.
I'd be
I've seen
perfectly,
those photos of people walking into
yeah.
Walmart with a fucking AR
In
strapped to their back, and
Florida,
I'm like, oh
yep,
my
in the
gosh.
state of Florida, you can you can take a gun anywhere for any reason. So in theory, any politician in the state of Florida is constantly exposed to that type of thing. That's how that
Yeah.
happens, Ron, is when you say anybody can have a gun anywhere for any reason, you know what happens? Anyone can have a gun anywhere for
Oh,
any
well, not
reason. Like,
when it's a Republican convention or an NRA convention or
well,
it's a fucking politician speaking. That guns can't be allowed there.
yeah, that
Elementary
was always the
schools are
irony is that
perfectly
like,
okay.
yeah,
Supermarkets are okay. Movie theaters are okay. Concerts are okay, but not when a Republican politician is speaking. Those are
yeah,
for
that's a
NRA
tough pill to
lobbyists
swallow.
or what?
That's a tough pill to swallow.
But that's how they are. I mean,
Yeah.
uh, then there was like I'm trying to think of like other weirdness that came out of the whole thing.
Well, the no
Oh,
medical
the whole thing with
report.
them saying like but Trump was saved by like an angel. And it's
Yeah.
so fun, like Abbott and Mark Taylor Green, they're all saying this stuff. And it's like, yeah, God was like, fuck those other people. I have to save the pedophile. Like,
Yeah, that was I always hate. I mean, I hate that in general. Like even when like a sports team says, I want to thank God for like God didn't
yeah, God
God
was like, I
yeah,
hate that other fucking team.
got bigger fish to fry. He's not like watching the
Well, he
AAA
doesn't
minor
exist.
league
So that's
Paw Tucket Mud
the whole not
Dogs.
existing thing usually gets in
Well,
the
yeah,
way with
that's
now, that usually
that
gets in
too.
the way
But
of Jesus.
even if you were
Oh,
to
like I don't even
imagine,
exist.
even if you were to
It's like it's a
imagine,
very narcissistic thing to say. It's a
yeah,
very like why it like I remember like when I was at my this old job and like the company was doing pretty good, whatever, and the boss is like, God is good. And I'm just like, yeah, I guess for you, asshole.
right,
Not
yeah.
anyone else. You don't really share the wealth here, and yeah, those people starving on the street. I guess God's not good for them.
Well, that's the
It's just,
corollary to that. It's that is like,
what do they call it? Like prosperity gospel, which is like
yeah,
that's like an evangelical thing and everything. Like
that's I always found that
that's like the
offsetting. Like,
Republican Party in general.
yeah, well, it is. It's a real new age kind of Christianity. Like,
Lots of
yeah,
selfish, disgusting.
yeah,
It's like basically saying that, like, well, God, I'm blessed. You're not. You must have done something wrong.
Right.
And
Yeah, that's
no.
the corollary to that is that if you're blessed, then someone else is cursed, or I don't know. It's just like,
It's disgusting. It's a
yeah.
fucking anyone that says that shit, I always think it's fucking gross. I don't like if I'm blessed or not, I would never say anything like that. I don't if something good happens to me, I don't go there and go, oh well, clearly I'm blessed.
I don't know, I can see
Like,
like I could see that part of it. It's just that there's often like it comes with that second part, even though it's not say like I
I
don't
would
see
never
anything
say
wrong.
that. I think that
Oh well,
that's
yeah,
so narcissistic.
I wouldn't say it just because it's not me. I mean, it's not my personality. But yeah, you. I mean, I don't think you've ever
Ooh,
heard
two
me
for
say
one
that.
deal on Chili's. I'm blessed.
But I've seen people say that, and they say it kind of in like a way that said, I've had good luck over the years, or whatever. I mean,
And then,
and
like I said, you got Tim Scott at the convention giving this bizarre thing about how God saved Trump so he
yeah,
could roar.
that's weird. Yeah,
It's
it's anyway. All right, so
Well, I gotta say before we move on, like, obviously the whole is it a conspiracy or not? I'd say doesn't fucking even matter. Like
it
if it was
doesn't.
real or not, it doesn't even fucking matter. The joke is they didn't focus on it too much because it was revealed that it was a white kid who was pretty much a Republican. So it's like, well, why would this kid try to kill a Republican
Yeah.
president? What's that about? Supposedly the joke is it's the Epstein stuff that came out about
Oh,
him. That's like the thing I've been hearing
I hadn't
gets
heard
so
that, but I
big that
mean,
supposedly that him finding out all the Epstein, because you would hear for years everyone like we're gonna go after Epstein. You got Trump's kid Don Jr. constantly talking about Epstein and connections to like the Clintons or whatever, and it's like, dude, your dad, what?
yeah.
So supposedly that was the reason. But like I said, Donald Trump is one of the biggest conspiracy pushing
Yeah.
shitbags. He pushes the lie about Muslims dancing in the street after
Uh,
9/11.
where Obama's birth certificate was. I mean, like,
He literally made his political career, his true launch, mainstream launch into politics with the whole birtherism.
yeah. And Melania was
So
right there with him. Like she was,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, the
Uh,
birther thing. That's where he built all his cachet on Fox News. That's where he built his cachet. That was when Obama made fun of him at
yeah, at the press dinner, the
the press
correspondence
dinner
dinner.
and everything. Like Trump built his entire political identity on that birther conspiracy. Then you
Yeah.
got him pushing the lies about January on 2016 election, even though he technically won and was president for 4 years, and
Right.
then he lied in 2020 and he caused January 6th. And that was a conspiracy in itself. He pushed COVID conspiracies. He pushed like there's like a whole list of shit we can
Yeah.
talk about, like all the lies. So you know what? Oh, he kind of he was a little coy about the whole Paul Pelosi thing. He I don't think he
Yeah.
said anything shit, but his son did. His son was posting
Oh yeah.
images of the hammer with underwear and said that was going to be his Halloween outfit.
Yeah.
And that was right after Paul Pelosi was attacked. Really disgusting.
The guy almost died. It's
Yeah.
horrifying. A hammer attack in the house.
And the
Paul
guy who did
Pelosi
it was like
was,
a Trump nut. He was like a
yeah.
MAGA nut job.
Well,
And they had
Paul
to,
Pelosi was injured far worse than Trump was.
yeah. Well,
Significantly
again, I
worse.
think he didn't squeeze a ketchup packet on his ear like
Yeah,
Trump
sure.
did. I don't know. Even if there was a shooting or whatever like that, again, let's like, where are the medical records?
Yeah.
We haven't
Yeah.
gotten anything. And let me tell you, if this happened to Biden, the media would be
Oh my God. Yeah.
over it. They would never stop talking about it.
Yeah.
It's
That is
insane. What?
that is for sure. Like that would
So
100%.
again, couple things before we move on to the next thing.
Yeah.
Donald Trump has to prove that this kid was not his gay lover, that was spurned, that he rejected. A gay lover that he rejected. I need proof. I
Yeah.
need solid proof. I need solid proof of medical records. You
Well,
know,
I think that's probably real legit, like
that one is actually legit. The other one's a joke
yeah.
because the
Well,
whole
yeah,
point
of
was,
course. But
yeah.
but yeah, I
So
mean, I that's legit. That's a legit thing.
So, and then the other thing that's super messed up is the guy that was killed. Well, the joke was this guy, his last tweet was like a reply to cat turd. It's like,
Yeah.
it's like someone said it was like the
God.
equivalent of dropping dead on the toilet like Elvis or something. Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
listen, it's depressing that this guy went with his family to a Trump rally and died. Like, that's
That's sad. Yeah.
you find out the woman, like they were together since like high school.
Yeah.
She has no one now. They were married, they either were together or married 29 years.
Oh,
They had adult children. Guy was a regardless of whatever his piece of shit politics were. He was a fireman, a fire chief.
yeah. Some dude,
Like he's just a dad. Like outside of his shitty politics, people found tweets of his like making nasty comments about DEI. Listen, he's a Republican, just regurgitating whatever he's being
Yeah.
given.
I think
Like,
he's from Buffalo
he a
too, which is a
racist?
pretty conservative town.
Was he a racist? He'd probably say he wasn't, but he probably would just reflexively do a bunch
Yeah.
of racist
He's
shit, like
probably
most of these people do.
that's
Well,
what I was gonna say. I don't think he was particularly racist or anything.
right, but these people just throw the word DEI around like it doesn't mean anything. It's the same thing with like whoop. They throw it around, they don't even know what it means,
Right. Yeah.
They think they're like perfectly okay. But this guy's dead. And it's like Trump killed another one of his supporters. He killed Ashley Babbitt. He killed those cops that day. He killed taser balls. Killed
Oh
all those
yeah.
people.
Poor taser balls.
God bless taser balls. Who was not blessed that day? Taser balls
Oh,
was not.
no, no, no,
Uh
no.
and this guy's dead, and Trump's using him as a prop on his empty, like supposedly not even his actual uniform on stage with his name spelled wrong. Like,
Right.
that's got to be a
God.
joke. Like, that's just like the icing on the cake. And then the worst part was Biden called this woman up like pretty
Yeah.
quickly,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
she wouldn't even talk to him. She's like, my husband would have been upset. I don't believe that. I bet her
Well,
husband, if Biden called him, he would have probably got right on the phone. He would have
yeah.
been like, "Oh, president wants to talk to me." I don't. That's insane. She said, "I have no ill will towards him. I'm not going to vote for him, but I'm not going to talk to him out of respect to my husband." I'm like, that is
That
nuts.
is weird.
Got and that Trump never contacted her. It was like days. He was
Yeah.
calling RFK first.
Yeah. Wow.
No,
Oh.
that's disgusting. These people aren't a cult. Like, your husband's fucking dead for going to a rally and he got his head, I think, blown off. Like he
Yeah.
literally was like
That's
killed. He died like supposedly protecting his family, which again, it's
uh,
awful what happened. Absolutely awful. And supposedly these other two guys were hurt. They never really explained what happened to
I
those guys.
never I know other people were injured, but I assumed they weren't badly injured because no one's really mentioned it. Uh
Well, they said they were in the hospital. They might still be in the freaking hospital,
uh
supposedly. I don't know. So, like I
well,
said, Trump, if this thing was totally fucking fake, man, let me tell you, Trump needs to be like, I don't even know. The whole thing is so gross. Everything about this guy is disgusting. I mean,
yeah,
like,
it is tough.
the January 6th thing alone is so fucking gross.
Yeah.
Like, the amount of like the fact that this guy is allowed to run for president, the fact that he had a whole convention celebrating him is insane. It is a
Yeah.
absolute travesty on our justice system. It is like it's so gross. There's no justice. This guy was supposed to be like sentenced a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Like last week, he was supposed to be sentenced on the 11th. Thanks to the Supreme Court, he's protected. So he gets away with literally doing whatever the fuck he wants and causing chaos and violence wherever he fucking goes. Biden, they're like scrambling to get rid of him.
Yeah, this is weird. There's been a concerted effort over the last couple weeks, and it seems to have kind of ebbed and flowed. It seems like at times it's intense, and at other times people are like, "Nope, he's the nominee." But I think we're on an uptick again. Like right now, people are saying they need to replace him, and I geez, I have like a bunch of feelings about it. Um,
Yeah.
my gut feeling throughout the whole thing is that you stay with Biden. That's been my gut feeling, because, and I say that for a couple of reasons. One is that he won the primary, but
Well,
that's
that
a
wasn't really a fucking primary. The primary was a joke. I heard people get pissed, but it was like, okay, like, yeah, he won the primary. First of all, this shouldn't have even been one. There was no primary for Trump in 2020, and you didn't
yeah,
hear any. I mean, I guess there was. People, I guess, voted for him because there were people running, but I think in most states, they literally locked in and it was just
right,
Trump. No, you didn't hear anyone say, like, oh, he needs to be primaried. No one good primaried him.
right.
Marion Williamson is a grifter and a joke. The other
Well,
guy, again, I don't even know his name. The guy who ran against him, like, no one knew who he was. That congressman, Dean Phillips.
yeah.
There was no primary.
Nevertheless, he won. I mean, like,
Sure.
I
Yeah.
get that, but like, there was a primary, someone won it, and that's a thing. I mean, I agree with you that it was a joke of a primary, but that's
Whatever. It's not a
yeah,
knock on him. It's just that, like, I just think, again, we are, after watching, and we'll talk about Trump's speech in a little bit. After watching Trump's speech, which just sounded like a rambling old man for an hour and a half on stage talking about like his grandkids or something.
yeah.
I
It
don't know.
had
He
a
would never talk about
grandpa.
his grandkids. He would, it's like someone get the mic away from him. He's about to say something racist, like,
It had a
uh,
Grandpa Simpsons like quality to it.
yeah, like yeah, was it the onion in the bag or
Yeah,
whatever
right.
with the belt?
Give me two bees for a nickel. Give me two bees.
Yeah, like old man yells at a cloud. Like
Yeah,
this guy is the young person. Like, and the media just folds. They like the thing that the media should be saying when Trump goes on stage is convicted felon who has been found guilty of rape
yeah.
and January and coup attempt is speaking on stage tonight at the R is accepting the nomination for president from the RNC from the GOP.
Well,
That should be it. And instead it's like we're supposed to treat that like it's normal and everyone's like finding like this guy said this guy said Biden has to leave. Now listen, Biden has progressively gotten worse,
yeah,
especially this past couple weeks. And then you find out he has COVID.
yeah, yeah,
So supposedly he said recently, didn't he say like if I get like physically ill or something, I'll drop
yeah.
out? Did he say something like that?
That was the a couple days ago. It looked like Biden had fought off the the initial effort to take him out.
Yeah.
But then all in one day, this is a weird day. It was whatever day he announced he had COVID when he was out in Nevada. He
Yeah.
the early in the morning there were some stories saying that Biden has stopped saying I won't get out of the race and started saying what are Kamala's chances. And then a few hours after that, I saw a bunch of tweets, and these are all from different like legit accounts, not like
Yeah.
you know random accounts. Then it was like Biden said that he would consider dropping out if he had a medical issue. And then, like 3 or 4 hours after that, Biden announces he has COVID. And in my head, I'm like, this is a slow rollout of
People think that
intentionally.
he has Parkinson's and he's starting to show signs of it, like the way
Yeah,
he moves hands and like the way he walks.
there was an article in
That
the New Yorker tonight that had that was making something to that effect. Uh, I
yeah.
don't know. I mean, I look,
I wish that he was fine and that
yeah,
he could just clobber Trump.
yes, me too.
I wouldn't even give a fuck if he finished his last 4 years. I would be fine if he was like, yeah, I'm done. I did my job.
Yeah.
Kamala's turn now. Bye bye. I'd be totally fine with that. And someone made a joke and said that he should drop out and like Kamala be in it because then she would be 47 and it would fuck with all the merch that Trump's
Oh,
selling.
that's funny.
Trump has 47 merch everywhere because
Yeah,
he would consider the 47th president because
right.
it's like a break. So he'd
Oh,
be
that's funny. Yeah, I
right.
okay, I
Yeah.
just
That
got
if you
that.
put
Yeah.
Kamala in there, it would fuck with him. And then he would, because if Biden wins, it's his 46 again.
Yeah.
So
That's
she
funny.
gets in and she wins. She's 47, and it would just
So the next
totally,
one would be 48. Yeah,
yeah. And all
that's
his
funny.
merch would just be like garbage. It'd be garbage if she enters the race. That's why that's kind of funny in itself, just from like you can see just the way they are, that they would be pissed alone from that. This is my fear about the whole thing. I saw some nightmare scenario that pissed me off. I was like, okay, Biden decides I'm going to finish my presidency, but I'm not running for president. Let's say this
Right.
happens.
Okay. Sure.
I don't know. I'll say this though, and we're going to talk about this later. But after watching that whole RNC convention, watching Hulk Hogan come out,
Yeah.
watching Kid Rock looking like a fucking idiot, looking at all these goons talking, Dana White, I'd be like, these are not serious fucking people.
Right.
And Trump goes out there and does like a rambling impression of I don't know, Trump, I guess. like he just gives the one of the worst. I
Yeah.
haven't seen any actual media analysis. I saw that the Jake Tapper thing just say he made history as like the longest speech. I
Right.
don't that
Yes.
could be kind of sarcastic because it's
Well, I
like,
think it's probably objectively true and a
yeah, it's
funny way of,
objectively true, but
yeah.
it could also be viewed as kind of sarcastic.
Right.
Like, yeah, that was the longest speech. That's not a good thing,
No,
Like,
it's not.
and then, but I don't know what anyone said. I can imagine they would say like Trump delivered a more toned down, more love. He mentioned the word love a couple of times. Biden probably looking at that speech now and being like, "Are you you guys are forcing me out?
Well,
Like, this guy? Like, are you fucking kidding?" Now I would say this: you get Kamala in there, and then now it's time to attack Trump's age.
yeah, oh, yeah.
Now you don't have. Now you got a 59-year-old woman who, if you've seen her talk lately, I kind of hope that she gets it, because she delivered a couple of speeches recently that
She's
were just
sharp.
like, yeah, she's sharp. She knows how to freaking talk. She will destroy Trump in a debate. She will destroy. They won't commit to a debate with JD Vance yet.
Yeah.
They claim they want to wait till after the convention. They're like, we're not doing any early debates. We have to, because one, who knows what's going to happen? Like,
Right.
debate
Yeah.
her, then the next day she's like the president candidate. So I
Yeah.
could see why they don't want to. I'm also think that they know that she's going to clobber him. She's
Yeah.
going to clobber. Um, if the only way this works, if Biden drops
Right.
out, is that she has to be given she has to be the candidate, like
Oh, yeah.
smooth transition. None
Yeah.
of this bullshit of like we're gonna have a
Mini
classic convention
primary or, yeah.
style in the
No.
convention. You're gonna see like Thomas Friedman, all these douchebags try to put out some blue
No.
dog Democrat that no one ever fucking heard of. Like, no. And then and Kamala will probably get in the end anyway, but she'll be damaged. No, you have to get behind her 100%. And someone had a great tweet, and this one is perfect because we know that this is not how it's going to play out. This person, Shadow of the Nerd Tree, said,
Okay.
so if Kamala, everyone's going to become her strongest super soldier, right?
I saw
None
this.
of
Yeah.
this lesser of two evils bullshit. No holding her accountable. You better become a straight up propagandist.
Right. Yeah.
I'm
I
serious.
agree.
I think these motherfuckers that like talk shit about Biden, if she becomes, you better get her fucking back.
Yeah.
You better, like, if she, because this is it. Like, there ain't gonna be anyone else if
No.
she
You have
ends up
one
being the
shot.
nominee. Like, there has to be full on support. And they said that, she's never had kids. I think she had issues or something like that. Like,
Okay.
never had children. And they said, like, with the whole thing going on about like women's reproductive rights and everything being on the line, the right's gonna try to make something out of that. Oh yeah, you're gonna go after her about that?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like
Right.
personal
Right.
issue, like body autonomy. Like, go ahead. I'm sure she would love that. Make her look like the victim and the hero. Like,
Yeah.
I just
Well,
think there's a stronger contrast if she's the candidate.
oh God. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
See, the irony
then
here
you
for
could change the
me.
conversation and say Trump's too old. Why is the Republicans running this man who shows cognitive decline,
Yeah.
who's falling asleep half the time during the convention?
See, that's the thing, is that like Trump is probably worse than Biden cognitively. He can't remember things. He makes stuff up. He
He's not
gets
smart
basic
to
facts
begin with.
wrong. He's not that smart. He falls asleep during random times. He's only a couple years older than Biden, but clearly in a
A couple
lot
years
less.
younger.
I mean, yeah, I
He's
mean, a
a
couple
couple
years
younger.
younger, but clearly
Yeah,
in a
but not
lot
by
less.
much.
But he's not in as good physical shape as Biden. The big problem here, and I don't want to like sugarcoat it, is um during that debate and a couple times after, but Biden looked aged. Like
Yeah,
he
he
looked
does.
aged.
When
And
he walked out,
yeah,
I was like, oh no, what's going on
yeah,
here? He looked confused, like someone he just woke up and they pushed him out onto the debate floor. It was
yeah.
bizarre. I mean, my wife were watching it. We were like, oh no, what's going
Yeah.
on here? Why
It
is this? Why is it like this? He looked confused.
yeah. And that's I don't think that is gonna go away. Like no matter how many good speeches you have,
No, it's not.
it's still not
It's
gonna go
gonna get.
away.
It's just gonna get worse. It's gonna. And this is like, I don't like the whole like. Can't stand those people who say it's Jover.
Yeah.
He does not have dementia. I'll give this to Bill Maher. I don't like Bill Maher. I haven't liked him in years, but I saw a clip of him
Uh-huh.
interviewing that schmuck Dave Rubin.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know if you know who that guy is.
Yeah,
He's the
yeah.
like the gay dude who became a right wing Republican. He
Yeah.
was interviewing. They were talking to each other, and he ripped Dave Rubin apart. He said, he said Dave Rubin saying how Biden has dementia and his brain's dead and he's crazy. And Bill Maher's like, "Are you?" He's like, "Listen, I get it. You are a full on right winger, but like you're being ridiculous. Trump is insane." He said, "Trump is insane.
Yeah.
Biden is sharp. Biden knows what he's doing. He's just aged. He does
That
not
yeah.
have dementia. He's just an older person. He cannot get. He does not have the ability to
Stamina.
communicate his words." But you cannot say he just called him out on it. And the guy was like, I don't know, he seemed like he was shocked to hear that. Like Bill Maher was just like ripping him apart. Like he's like, you're just a full-on right winger. You want to push your narrative. Like,
Yeah.
and he's like, your guy is outright insane. Like Biden is not any of those things. He's just old and he's
Yeah.
showing
That's yeah.
signs of age and other issues that are causing him to stutter more. Like, people were showing speeches of like, fuck. I remember 2020, I was nervous. I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
Because people were showing speeches of him from like 2012, 2008, 2016 too. And it was like, it was a different guy. It's just a different energy. Different, in 2020, it kind of worked because it was like you had Trump who was a fucking lunatic and Biden just looked more measured, more calm. And
Mhm.
and it was like with COVID and everything was going on. I was like, we just gotta get rid of this fucking madman. We gotta get rid of this guy. But I feel like now it's scaring me because I feel like people have like fucking like just convenient amnesia. They
Yeah.
see the price of food go up a bit in places, not a bit, a lot in a lot of places. They see, but it's been proven fact. Again, people, low information voters are getting this information. Biden has nothing to do with the fact that when you went to Walmart, they doubled the price of something.
Right.
Biden did not raise the price of your Big Mac. Biden did not raise the price of did not add junk fees to all these things. Those are businesses and corporations taking advantage of
Well,
anything.
that's it
Biden
too. And
administration,
Biden
what?
should come out, or whoever's running should come out and say, like, look, uh, your burger went up by 25 cents. Well, McDonald's CEO last year made $18 million, and
Yeah,
this year he makes $35 million.
yeah, and they're
This ain't on
complaining.
me.
They're blaming because some states require the workers to make more money,
Yeah. Right.
which, yeah,
They
it's
spent,
like,
and you can just do the math. Just say, look, the extra money they had to spend on salaries equals
yeah,
$750,000. This motherfucker who runs McDonald's gave himself a raise of like $17 million.
and that's why you're paying
That's
two
why you
dollars
pay
more
more.
for your
Yeah,
Big Mac meal because that
because
$2 is not going to the employee.
right.
It's not going to improve the food. It's not going to
No, the
improve the
CEO needed a
building
fourth
and
house,
equipment. Yeah. Like
right?
that's why
I
the joke
mean,
about AI, like AI replacing artists and writers and creatives. Like, how about we use AI to replace executives?
yeah, yeah.
I mean, that'll never happen, but
No.
I don't
Well,
want AI executive. I'd be like,
yeah.
I
think
more
I'm
production, produce, produce,
I'm going
produce.
I'm going to vote
Maybe
for
maybe AI boss was a bad idea.
I'm going to vote for the Democratic ticket, obviously, no matter who's on it.
Yeah, I am too, no matter what. I want a stronger communicator. But like I said, all these fucks I've been seeing like attacking Biden for his age and everything, they better turn around.
Yeah.
Then I'll know what kind of bullshit artists they were if like Kamala gets in and they just start attacking her, calling her a cop or some bullshit. I'll be like, you fuckers just
Yeah.
want another Trump administration.
It'll be tough.
You
I
just
was
want
looking
that cheap laugh, that cheap click, that cheap subscription. You're only thinking about yourself. You're not thinking about like I don't think people understand how bad it is. Well, the one Trump administration alone is bad, but the fact that he picked JD Vance
yeah.
is so bad on so many fucking levels that it's like he comes in fully loaded with Peter Thiel. Like, I don't know. You saw that thing from Mark Cuban, right? With the whole
Yeah.
like crypt. Do you know
Yeah.
about it?
Yeah. With the Mark Cuban, he was doing it on Twitter, right? Is that the
Yeah.
tweet you're talking about? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm talking about that. What did he say?
He
You know this stuff
Mark
more than me.
well, Mark
I'm not good with the
Cuban.
numbers and the stuff.
Yeah, let me see if I can pull that up. Mark Cuban was going back and forth, and he was basically saying this is how the economy works, and he put it in real simple terms. It was like,
It basically said they're going to try to stabilize the dollar so that crypto benefits.
yeah, and I thought that was kind of funny because crypto's like big in Texas. Um, I'm just trying to stall here while I get this Cuban tweet up. Uh,
I mean, it's okay. You don't have to.
Yeah. Anyway, the basic idea of it was, all right. Geez, he's been on a tear lately. He had a bunch today about white privilege, um, and the one you're talking about.
Yeah, he talks about like talking to players and stuff, saying about like how when they teach when they were taught to drive, like how if a cop pulls them over, they got to pull over an area that's very
Yep.
well lit so that
The
people can see them. Like
the one yesterday,
what?
or a series yesterday was on medical costs because Mark Cuban set up that like discount pharmacy for
Yeah.
people, which has actually been real good.
I mean, he's definitely one of the better billionaires. I don't think billionaires should exist, but if I had to choose a billionaire from like Elon Musk and Peter Thiel, yeah, I'd go with Cuban.
Yeah, oh yeah. The one you're talking about is he's talking about Silicon
We're
Valley
talking about
support
crypto.
for Silicon Valley support for Trump. And he says, Mark Cuban says, like all my opinions on here, this probably won't be popular, but this is a Bitcoin play. And he's talking about basically reforming the SEC and a whole bunch of regulatory things through Bitcoin, like using Bitcoin as kind of a mechanism to do that. And it did get a lot of pushback, but Cuban's real smart. I mean, I don't know that I followed like all his mechanizations on that, but I do believe it's true. But let me just this is what I was looking up right before that. Biden, a lot of people are kind of like writing Biden off as he would lose, but
Yeah, I still think that's ridiculous. I think he would still probably win.
here's the thing. You need 270 electoral votes to win. All right. So let's say that the blue states that we know of as blue states. I'm not talking
Yeah,
about
or like New
Pennsylvania.
York's in play. I'm like, get
Right.
the fuck out of here.
Let's
Who the
say
fuck
that
believes that? That's
the
insane.
legit
You don't sound play for
right.
Trump.
Let's say the legit blue states, California, Oregon, Washington, Colorado, New Mexico, New York. Let's say those all stay blue. And let's say Biden loses some of the states he won last time. He loses Nevada, he loses Arizona, he loses Georgia. If Biden wins Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, he wins the election. So imagine the map is like it was last year. or last election, but he loses Arizona, he loses Georgia, and he loses Nevada. He still wins the election.
After watching Trump's speech, anybody that was on the fence and watched Trump's speech and was like, I don't know, Biden's old and we need someone that communicate. And then you watch that speech, and if you don't leave going like, oh yeah, no, I'm going to stick with Biden because this guy is like just a mess. If you didn't, then you were just going to vote for Trump no matter what. You don't need an excuse.
Yeah.
You don't need an excuse to vote for Trump. You were going to do it anyway. I don't even understand this whole thing. I think it's insane. I can't believe that Trump's even polling as high. It should be like a paper bag versus Trump, and Trump should be losing to that paper bag.
Yeah, I agree.
It is a joke. It is a complete fucking joke. I don't, like I said, I'm not crazy about Biden being pushed out. I think it's weird. I feel like the whole thing seems kind of odd and it seems kind of sad. But there must be something really wrong with him. If he gets, supposedly the rumor is that he's going to resign on Sunday.
I've heard that.
Or he's not going to resign, but he's not going to run. Like I said, if it does not go right to Kamala Harris like this, then it is going to be a shit show, and Trump's going to fucking win because of that. It has to go to her. We cannot have weeks of nonsense. There has to be a full-on support.
Well, and it has to be
any Democrat. If any Democratic politician comes out and is like I want to run or something like that, that person's a piece of garbage, because this should be all about making sure Trump loses, the GOP loses, Project 2025 loses, JD Vance loses. Like, this cannot. I don't know. I don't trust any of this. I think the whole thing is weird.
It's remarkable that we find ourselves here, because I'll tell you, like 8 weeks ago or so, 2 months ago, I thought Biden was going to cruise to a crushing victory. I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, but then that debate happened, and it was like, oh no.
Well, I don't know. I think you're right.
I just think people have no foresight.
Yeah.
They don't think of like 2 years from now or a year from now. They just think of at the moment, and they're like, well, I don't know, Biden was a little tired, I'm not going to vote for him. It's like, you gotta vote. You can't let Trump win. Like, you can't complain then later when your taxes go up, when you don't have the ACA anymore, when you don't have you lose days off now because companies don't have to provide them.
Or when like half your family won't speak to you because you invalidated their marriages, or when
exactly, like a bunch of all kinds of controversial, and it disturbs me how short-sighted people really can be. It's like, I don't know.
The thing that I legitimately don't understand. I mean, I guess I understand it on one level, but like, I don't understand, aside from immigration, what policies of Trump's people support. Like,
there was no policy discussed tonight in his speech. I mean, all right, let's talk about the RNC then, because there's really nothing else. We don't know what's going on with Biden.
Right.
Hopefully, I mean, in a perfect world, I would have him stick around, and hopefully he doesn't get worse, and he has a better debate performance, another date, and he gives good speeches like the one in Detroit. But I feel like, unfortunately, that's not going to happen. I think, unfortunately, he's just going to get worse. He is older, and he's showing his age more and more every day. It's sad, but like I said, the only way.
Fucking COVID can't help.
Yeah, I mean,
COVID,
he's fully vaccinated. He's fully vaccinated and everything like that, but like, it could still rock him. It could still fuck him over.
And even if it doesn't, you're like, how many days are left? You're going to sacrifice like 7% of your campaigning days because you're sick? I mean, like, that's a big deal. Anyway,
well, he might recover quick. Who knows? I mean, the convention is until August.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Do you know why the GOP convention was so early? It's
I don't.
like a month earlier than it should have been.
I think I and I don't know this, but I think Trump pushed for it to be early. And I
He
want to
wanted
say
it
that,
locked in just in case there was anything that came up,
yep,
like
I
any
think he wanted to lock
criminal
it in.
stuff.
I think he wanted to lock it in ASAP. And I also think he couldn't start spending RNC money until after he had the nomination. Like,
Yep.
you don't have access to all the money until you win. And he needed to officially win to get that money. So now he's got like a whole bunch of new money that he didn't have yesterday. That's my theory. And I don't think that's like a pretty educated guess.
Yeah. We'll see what happens. I mean, yeah. No, that's probably it. Then he could start getting more money now, right?
Yeah. Yeah, he has access to like because previously yesterday, Nikki Haley had, I mean, I know she was not in the race anymore, but like Nikki Haley had equal claim to that money because neither she nor Trump were the nominee yet, you know?
Yeah.
So that's it. And Biden's, and anyone who is president has a significant advantage because they can just take Air Force One anywhere. Trump's got to pay
Well, that's
for
the other thing too
flights.
about Kamala being
Yeah.
the
Yep.
the nominee is that because she's on the campaign, all that super PAC money remains with them.
Yep.
I just think it would. I'm up for it. I always liked her. I mean, I think she's a goofball, but like she seems. I don't know. It would just be. I mean,
Yeah.
it would be a massive contrast to Trump on
It
so many
would.
levels.
It would be so sharp.
It would be funny.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
no. I mean, I don't think he would debate her. He'd be like,
I don't know.
She's not the nominee. I'm not. I was supposed to debate Biden.
Yeah. I think there'd be something to that. But I would like to. I'll bet you I would like to see a lot more of Kamala Harris on TV and talking and being like the focal point and getting equal as she can get press coverage and stuff. I like Biden, but even Biden during his best moments when he was real sharp and he was still, like, for my taste, a little too nice a guy for these days, you know. And I admire that about him. I like that about him.
Yeah, but I think he's good at taking Trump down. I think I
did tell Trump to shut up. That was great.
That speech in freaking Detroit was great.
True. Yeah. Good point.
I mean, he was calling him a flat out rapist.
Yeah.
This is when people were calling him to lock him up. I thought that was really funny. And I saw all these like douchebag reports. This sounds like a MAGA rally. It's like, shut up. How about like people are excited to vote for him?
Right.
Like, and you know what? There is some legitimacy to actually saying lock him up when you're talking about Trump.
Because he was convicted of crimes. He was convicted.
34 felony. Yeah. You can legitimately say lock him up. Like he should be in prison. And he's facing other charges.
Nobody got mad when people were chanting lock him up after Dahmer was convicted. You know, like same thing.
Only weirdos and psychopaths. One of the more frustrating things that happened, we'll get against the RNC, but one of the more frustrating things that happened literally right before the RNC was that judge in Florida.
Yeah. Eileen Cannon.
Basically, what did she do?
She dismissed the charges. She said that Jack Smith was unconstitutionally appointed, and she dismissed all charges.
The charges were for what again?
This was a classified documents case, and most people agreed this is the slam dunk of the cases. It was a pretty straightforward.
Well, once she was put on the case, it was already fucked.
Yeah,
it just was dragged out for months. Like months. Her name, Eileen Cannon, is some lady that Trump put on the courts. She has no experience.
Yeah, she'd like never tried a case before. All her cases
Isn't she from like the Heritage Foundation or something?
Yeah, well, any judge appointed by Trump was. They approved it all.
They usually are.
And I'm sorry, the Federalist Society.
That's it. He was talking about her on stage on the like as if she was just like esteemed wise judge, and it's like she's just some like rubber stamp for you.
Yeah, it is. That was real disappointing. That was, and again, this is.
I wasn't shocked. There was just like fine. He's appealing it, right?
Yeah, Jack Smith did appeal it. He already did. He appealed it to the 11th Circuit, and he wants it He wants her ruling overturned and then a new judge, so
Yeah.
but the problem with that is too that all of this drags out. So if Trump wins, then none of it matters.
Yeah.
None of it matters. Even the state cases could be in jeopardy, and people always thought the state cases could never be in jeopardy.
I mean, look at the sentencing for Trump in New York. Like
Yeah.
that's all being delayed until September because of the Supreme Court.
Yeah. So that was real frustrating.
Well,
Yeah.
another good news came out. A couple things were announced though under Biden recently, which makes you go like, I don't know, maybe we should keep this guy because he put in a bunch of things. One of them was about like rent.
Yep.
Another thing, I don't know what the other one was. One of them was obviously a thing about the Supreme Court. We should talk about that. And then there was some other big one.
He did another round of student debt relief.
Okay.
Which was a real big one.
The big one was an announcement about the Supreme Court talking about term limits and investigations. And he
an
said
enforceable ethics clause. Yeah.
Yeah, which is like, bye-bye, Clarence Thomas.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, if something happens, that motherfucker gets like, if one of those fucks leaves or dies or whatever, and it's like a month before the election, they better ram they better do a fucking Ruth Bader Ginsburg. They better freaking shove the liberal version of what's her face in the court.
Amy
Tony Barrett.
Yeah.
I guess supposedly people are like, oh, she's become this like, you don't know what she's gonna do. And that's bullshit. She's still a Trump hatchet, man.
She's a weirdo, and she's like a real bizarre religious zealot. I will say, like, look, she made some good rulings or rulings that I think are solid. I mean, sure, but like that's a real low bar. You almost hate to bring it up because it's a real low bar. The RNC, it's over now. It was such a spectacle. It felt like ancient Rome or something, like
it's just okay. So the first night, I only saw a couple of them, but it was like, okay, let's put like every black Republican we could find on stage.
Yes.
And they all give the same lame speech, these dudes. They're always like, oh, I'm not a slave to the Democratic Party.
Right.
And it's like, dude, shut up. That's all you got. Like, and then like, oh God. Well, they had Marjorie Taylor Greene speak. I think she spoke on the first night. And she would do these bizarre noises every time she would talk. She'd make that weird chimpanzee smile she does.
Yeah.
And she would go like, huh, huh, huh. I don't know. It was super fucking weird. She's a weirdo. And then they brought Amber Rose out, which is bizarre. It's like
very interesting choice.
Like, who the fuck is that? Like, I'm sorry, like she's never been like she was like relevant for like 10 seconds.
Right.
She dated Kanye West years ago.
Yep.
The only thing funny about it is that she told people that he licks his fingers up his asshole. So that's kind of funny.
You're right.
I guess he is a gay fish. So he's a little bit into pet. He's what? Yeah. He's a fish sticks.
Yeah.
Whatever.
That episode was hilarious.
Yeah, I never really liked it, but then rewatching it, I love the whole Jimmy and Cartman thing, and Cartman like
that was really funny.
Exaggerating the line, and that's why I said it reminds me of Trump like line, like, and then ninjas came on stage, and even though my ear was gushing blood everywhere. I was half the blood in my body was drained. But I was able to aim the blood, and I knocked 3 of the ninjas off with the power of the force of my blood. Knocked these ninjas off the stage, and then the Secret Service were like, "Usually we guard the president.
Right.
Thank you, Donald Trump, Mr. President, for guarding us." And I said, I don't know. Whatever line Batman says in one of those movies, like it's not what I do, but it's not what I do, but I don't know, fucking dumb quotes he says in those movies. But like the lives are just gonna be like And then the devil came out of the ground.
Right. Yeah.
And I pulled out my mighty sword.
So
Blood
crazy.
gushing from my ear, still gushing, so much blood. The crowd was wild. God was sitting back clapping,
It was
waiting for
crazy.
me to take on the devil. That devil was Biden.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I was
Oh.
just coming up with more lies for Trump. Like,
Well-
so then Amber Rose spoke, and it was like, and she said, like, this is the funniest thing. She talks about how MAGA is love,
Right.
and it's like you see the people holding the mass deportation signs up, and
Yeah.
it's like, the fuck are you talking about, you idiot? So the joke is, supposedly, one, she probably realized like a lot of MAGA chads are on her only. She's basically like makes most of her money from like OnlyFans, supposedly,
I believe
and
it. Yeah.
running crypto schemes.
Oh,
And she's
geez.
actually facing charges.
That's right.
So
Yeah.
people think the only reason why she's there is in hope that if Trump wins, he'll pardon her.
Yeah, I can see it.
She had to star in a video with Fergaccio below. Did you see that?
I did. That was terrible.
Yeah, Donald Trump. Dude, that song was in my head. Like
Yeah.
what they call it, like an earworm.
Earworm. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like walking to my car and I'm like, Trump. I'm like, this song
Oh,
is
fuck.
horrible. It's not gonna make me want to vote for him. It's gonna make me want to jump into traffic. Like
Yeah.
that guy,
Well-
I cannot handle that guy. He is so fucking weird looking. That dude. He is
Yeah.
a literal hog. And it's so strange, the whole like the Republicans are these like tight ass conservatives, but then here comes this guy who's just covered in every tattoo.
Yeah.
Looks like a thug. He looks exactly like what they said were like horrible people.
Right. Yeah.
He raps about Trump, and they're just like, yeah, very cool.
It is a
Very cool.
bizarre that I think that is one of the weird things about this Republican Party is they have done a good job of leveraging these bizarre groups. There's like a big part of current Republican politics isn't even politics. It's like really being into Stranger Things or something. You know, it's like a cultural thing, shared language or whatever. Like you got the little red hat and all that. Some people are really like the politics, but like it is. Most people aren't even necessarily that political.
A diverse group of fucking weirdos and freaks.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I know some people like I've said before, some people they live in towns where, maybe their town got turned upside down due to immigration. They don't know where to put these people in their schools and stuff like that. I can see those people saying like getting horrible about it briefly. But like a lot of the real big MAGA fans, they're not even like that political. They're just like,
well, that's the thing too. Like Amber Rose is a one an atheist and also a possible Satanist.
yeah,
she was the leader of the slut walk.
That's right. Yeah. God.
The whole thing is just so bizarre. And again, it's like I haven't heard her name in years, and then I heard she was like becoming this like MAGA chud, and she stars in the Fergaccio Below video, and she's not even in the beginning of the she literally gives one of the last speeches of the night on the first night. It's
like a feature.
Weird.
Yeah.
Who gives I forgot who gave the final speech. Was it Don Jr.? Whoever was the first night, I don't know.
I forget.
Then the second, and that's when we also got Tim Scott, who said, "Hey, roared." Tim Scott, interesting fact. The minute JD Vance announced his was announced that he was going to be the VP, Tim Scott's the woman that he returned, the lady that he pretended that he was going to get married to.
Yeah.
He brought her back to the store.
That's why you saved the receipt. Yeah. It's like,
that's why he saved the receipt. Yeah. He's like, now I could go back to being a closeted homosexual again. Just like the way I'm supposed to. That's what
God made
Tim
it
Scott's
meant
words.
to be.
Yeah. This is great. Now I can go back to being a closeted homosexual. So I can say he roared. That
Yeah.
guy's so weird. He looks
He is
like
very weird.
Beetlejuice. When Lauren Boebert sees Tim Scott, she gets a little confused.
Right?
She knows he's Beetlejuice, but not that Beetlejuice.
Yeah, it's a different Beetlejuice.
That the Beetlejuice from Howard Stern, not the
Oh,
Michael Keaton movie.
right.
Did you see the trailer, the new trailer that
Yeah.
dropped for Beetlejuice?
Yeah.
Well, I said that Lauren Boebert is going to be very busy that night.
Yep.
I heard that the movie theater the movie theater is gonna look like what the place looks like after a Guar concert, which by the
Yes.
time she's done.
It was filmed in Jackavision, is what I heard.
She is gonna be jacking off so many dudes that night. She's like Santa. You're gonna be like when Beetlejuice 2 comes out, people go, how does Santa go down every chimney on the planet? Like
Right.
it's only one night. And you find out they got little tricks, there's magic involved.
Yep.
He supposedly splits himself into many people. How is Lauren Boebert going to jack off every dude at every theater on Beetlejuice night?
She's mastered the Trump double dicking, the double air.
I heard she turns into the god Ganesh, and multiple arms comes out so she can
nice.
I
can see
power
it.
of Ganesh.
Yep.
Just for this, multiple arms, and then
yeah, right. There
did
you go.
She speak at the RNC?
I don't think so.
I don't. That's crazy. I'm surprised she didn't.
I could see.
They're like, listen, we don't want you talking. You're gonna win your election if you just shut up.
Well, I know she and Marjorie Taylor Greene have feuded, and I think they gave Marjorie Taylor Greene a plum spot, so that it wouldn't surprise me if she was not invited.
She had to have been there.
Yeah, you would think. I think she would just be allowed. She's a delegate, so I think she'd be allowed to be there. I think anybody who's
so. One of the funnier moments was, I guess, McCarthy. Kevin McCarthy was being interviewed,
right?
And like Matt Gaetz came and like interrupted like a jackass.
Yeah.
And Kevin McCarthy was being interviewed. He's like, yeah, that guy's like, I forgot what he said. He's just full out like, yeah, that guy's a pedophile. Like,
yeah, he said Matt Gaetz was like, what time do you on stage, Kevin? Like making fun of him because he's not allowed to speak. And then he said, if you were to go on stage, like everyone would boo you or something like that. And Kevin McCarthy said, that's Matt Gaetz. He's under investigation for having sex with a 17-year-old. That's
and then some guy told Matt, he's like, Matt, go away, or something like that.
Yeah.
Like this other dude, he's like, go away, Matt.
Well, it does. I mean, like,
what a clown show.
Yeah, that is a good way of putting it. They can't help themselves, and that a lot of people really like
I must
that.
feel bad for Kevin McCarthy, and I shouldn't because he's horrible.
Kevin McCarthy's horrible. You're right. Kevin McCarthy's horrible, and I'm like rooting for Kevin McCarthy here. It just turns the whole world upside down. I'm like,
let them fight.
Get him, Kevin. Get him.
Yeah, come on, Kevin. Fight dirty. Do what you know best. I mean, listen. If it takes Kevin McCarthy to get like the investigation going against him, so one of the funniest thing though. So he thought that was a funny moment, Matt Gaetz, but then Matt Gaetz went on stage and looked like Robbie Rotten from Sporticus,
Lazy Town. Yeah,
Lazy Town. He looked like Bruce Campbell's character in Escape from LA. He must have gotten freshly Botoxed and filled right before he went out. They showed a picture of him the day before, and then the next day, when he was at the convention the next day, he all of a sudden had these bizarre eyebrows. I posted a picture that went pretty viral on Threads.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I'm starting to use Threads more. Threads is actually blowing up for me. I'm doing better on there. Like, I posted I don't know if you ever watched What We Do in the Shadows.
Oh, yeah.
You ever seen the one where Nandor gets they have a djinn and he kind of gets like a facelift, and throughout the episode his face gets stretched more and more. I posted that, and so this is Matt Gaetz. People posted him as Liberace, and someone posted him as Siegfried and Roy.
I heard someone said
on the other one. He looked so fucking weird. I didn't even see his speech.
Yeah.
I just saw the pictures and I'm like, what people showed like what he looked like a couple of years ago. There was like different
Right.
pictures, and it's just like, dude, this guy's had so much work done.
Yeah. I saw a bunch of those. I saw the Siegfried and Roy one. Someone said he's two white tigers and one life partner away from a Vegas residency. Like
Life partner.
two white tigers and a life partner. Uh yeah, it was bad. But that is again the Republican Party. They're all like former wannabe models and actors. It's all substance over style. I mean, they have a certain like
Well, a lot of the more current ones are like that.
yeah. But it's getting more and more like that. I mean,
It's becoming like you would have these people who were like more like Kevin McCarthy.
yeah,
Like they were policy people. They were terrible, and they were there at the bidding of like the Koch brothers
right.
and other, big business, but they were kind of serious people.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
Like,
like,
yeah, they're gonna do work. It's not gonna work in the favor of like, the American people in any way, the American worker in any way, but they're actually like kind of serious.
yes,
And then you get
right.
people like Marjorie Taylor Greene and Boebert and stuff, and Gates and
Yeah.
these weirdos, and you're just like, nothing's getting done here. Like, this
No.
is bizarre. Um, I don't know who spoke the second night, who the keynote was for that one. Maybe that was Don Jr. I don't know. But then the next night was JD Vance.
Yeah.
The third night. That was a fucking boring fucking speech.
That was boring. Yeah. He looked a little
That
nervous
one
too.
was what?
He looked a little nervous, in my opinion. He not like terribly, but like he looked a little unsure.
That, the movie, the movie Hillbilly Elegy is about me, mom, papa helping a fat pussy get into the like not heritage
Yeah.
foundation or something, but like a fat pussy. Dude, he sucks on so many levels. First of all, this guy pushes. I didn't even know he was married to like an Indian woman. This guy pushes like the great replacement theory,
right?
Which is like a anti-Semitic racist thing that racist white people push. And Tucker Carlson, I guess Tucker Carlson spoke tonight. I didn't see his speech. I didn't want to. I don't need. I hate that guy. I don't want to hear him. He's full in on Project 2025. He thinks that women should not have the right to, even if they're raped or if they're dying, it doesn't matter. They have no right to their body.
He doesn't believe in no fault divorce. He thinks that if a woman is getting beaten, she needs to make it work.
Does he tell his wife that?
I don't think
she seems like a smart lady. And now this woman's not anything great. She's like employed through like fucking whatever the same Project 2025 people are and shit. She's not like some ally or something, but like, he believes in no fault divorce. He's like, okay, if somebody like gets beaten to death, they have to stay in that marriage.
Yeah.
Like it's the 1950s. This guy to me scares me more than Trump does.
Yeah,
because
me too.
The thing about Trump's gonna croak one day. He's just gonna croak. Like he's old. And this guy, if Trump gets in, this guy will be president, and he's young, and he could be around for he could be president for 8 years after Trump. Now, if you're vice president, let's say Trump, unfortunately gets in, and he dies like 3 years into his presidency, or something happens and he can't finish it. JD Vance has to take over. Does that mean JD Vance can outrun for 2 more terms, or does the term finishing count?
No, there is I believe, and I knew this at one point, but I believe the thing is you can only serve 2 full terms. Like you can only be elected twice, meaning that if you are
if he becomes president, let's say during Trump's nightmare scenario,
he could be elected twice more.
This guy is young. He's a soulless scumbag. Part of that whole tech bro. Like, it's so funny. Like, we'd always hear this bullshit about people from Silicon Valley. Those are the liberals. No, they're not. They're usually libertarian as fuck. They're heartless as fuck. They come up with apps that like Uber and shit that doesn't even that completely removes them from the workers, that they don't even think of them as workers. You know what I mean? Like they're just app users. Like they don't even have to view them as employees. These are soulless people usually.
Yeah.
They're very like Ayn Rand shit. A lot of these crypto guys a lot of these so-called tech bros have become very right wing over the years, especially like following with Elon Musk and everything like that. And this dude is like, what's the deal? Like, fucking Peter Thiel like bought him or something. He
Yeah,
found him somewhere and
basically
said, "You
funded
boy, you are my blood boy. Get over
he
here."
funded his senatorial campaign like
Yeah, him
completely.
and Blake Masters, and unfortunately,
Yeah.
thankfully, Blake Masters lost because he was a creepy, like way too creepy.
Yeah.
Like, like JD Vance, he's a creep, but he's not like I don't know. Blake Masters was pretty off-putting. Like this guy, Vance looks somewhat normal, even though he
Yeah.
does have some funky eyelashes.
Well, I looked it up and that I was mostly right about Vance, but the specifics were a little off. You can only be elected twice. So if you are, let's say Trump croaks year 3, Vance could technically get 9 years of being president.
That's what I
But if
mean.
yeah, but if it happened in the first year of Trump's presidency, then Vance could only run once more. Like he would only get a total of 7 years. It's a 2-year cutoff. So if Trump
Oh,
lived
Jesus.
for 2 years, yeah, if Trump lived for 2 years, JD Vance could run for 2 terms. But if Trump passed away in the first year, then Vance could
Oh,
serve
God.
out yeah. So there's a
Yeah,
little
let's make sure. Oh man, I didn't see what Rachel Maddow said. It said something about like, God damn it, I hate this. I hate when these things update and you can't see. Like,
yeah.
I want to see what she said about Trump's speech.
Oh, it can't
I
be
think it was
good.
bad. Okay, so JD Vance, like, so he's a Trojan horse for Peter Thiel and all
Yeah,
these like tech bros and shit
I
like
would
that.
imagine, yes.
And he's also fully in on Project 2025.
Very much so.
Did you see those you know that guy Walter Matheson who does like all those where he goes to like the school board meetings, pretends to be like a MAGA guy,
Yes,
but he
yeah,
says
yeah.
all these things. Well, he's starting to imitate that asshole, that right-wing asshole who does like the where he's sitting there eating and he thinks he's
Oh,
being
I've
smart.
seen those.
Now he's doing the same thing where he's like
Yeah. He I saw one.
so you're saying a Republican was shot by another Republican and the Democrats are the one by a weapon that the Democrats have been trying to make
Right.
illegal. You know, like he's trying
And
to
then
do the whole.
he pushes the food in his face like real
Yeah,
comically and
he's
then
totally
laughs. He's
mimicking
good.
this guy, and I think
Yeah.
that's probably one of the funnier. That guy sucks. That guy. I remember when he was bragging about giving homeless people like fake money,
Yeah.
and I'm like,
Yeah.
"Are you really doing that?" Because if you are, you
That's
know that's
right.
a
It's a
that's a
crime.
crime.
Yeah. Wow.
So, I don't know. I can't find the thing about it. So JD Vance gives this very milquetoast speech. The only thing, and one of the funniest things, he talks about his grandma having like 19 guns in the house.
Yeah.
Like she couldn't move around, so she had a gun in every room so
Right.
that she could get to it. I'm like, that's not normal.
No.
That's called mental illness
Right. That's like, yeah, that's like a symptom of hoarding or
or
something.
or a brilliant tactician. I mean, it depends.
Sure.
If you're in a movie and like the same ninjas that Trump had to fight on stage after, with his
Yeah.
blood gushing out of his ear, JD Vance's grandma Mima, what the fuck we call him down in the hee haw, they down in the bayou.
Right, right.
Isn't he like not even from there? Isn't he like some like upper crust
He
kid in like
I think he's from
Cleveland or something?
Kentucky. No, I think he I don't want to say he had a hard scrabble life. I think he was kind of like Clinton in that he did have maybe a rough upbringing and then quickly turned it around and was fine from a relatively young age.
Didn't he talk about his mom or something? And then the joke was, yeah, she was like a nurse, but she was caught like stealing drugs
I don't
and
remember that,
using
but I
it
do
for
remember
her.
there being
That's where she was getting her drugs, so she was stealing them from patients, supposedly.
funny.
It's funny to find out these people are awful. And,
Yeah.
you just add to their awfulness. It gets worse.
Yeah.
Meet grandma had 96 guns everywhere. You thought she was getting a spoon. No, she was getting a
Right.
gun. Played like Glenn Close in a shitty movie. They said that movie hurt Amy Adams' career.
Oh, I can see that.
And I'd say to that, good.
Yeah. I remember when Hillbilly Elegy came out, a lot of people were giving it praise,
Of course they were.
and it was
This
a lot of people were
need to
confused.
understand how the Trump voter thinks.
A lot of people were confused about the message, um, it came across as a real thinky book, like a real intellectual book. And it ultimately wasn't. I mean, there wasn't a ton of like thought behind it other than bootstraps was the basic theme. Like,
Yeah.
Appalachian would be better if they pull themselves up by their bootstraps.
Right. It's all their fault. It's not the
Right.
fault of like big businesses or any
So
politicians.
yeah, that and combined
with
with government cuts, and pulling programs, that's the JD Vance philosophy.
Right. He's the one that pushed the whole Mountain Dew mouth thing, supposedly. And like, yeah, he's trying to make it on these people like it's their fault. And yeah, again, this is the kind of shit where really rich people love this because then they're blamed, and then educated like upper middle class people think that they could read it and feel better about themselves, being like, oh, I made all the right choices. These people are just too stupid to help themselves. They can't help themselves. So yeah, he's a prick. And it's just so funny because there's all this like quotes of him like saying like, oh, Trump's Hitler. I guess Trump saw that as a compliment. So
right, yeah. Yeah.
He was like, that's right. How did you know? I love him. I love my Hitler. I do.
I think JD Vance is a very worrisome pick because I think he's probably pretty competent. I wonder what the average
is he wait, you said he's competent?
Yeah, in government. He could figure out how to get stuff done.
We found Senator JD Vance's public Venmo account.
Gives
an unfiltered glimpse into his extensive network of connections with establishment GOP heavyweights, wealthy financiers, technology executives, and even the architects of Project 2025. Yeah, dumbass forgot to make his Venmo private. Do you think Matt Gaetz was like, oh, you're supposed to make your Venmo private, and then the cops arrest him? So someone pulls a net on stage, pulls him off like a dog catcher.
Yeah.
Yeah. This guy's a dumbass. Like, yeah, he's a smart dumbass, but like, we don't want this guy close anywhere near in the White House.
No.
This guy, and I don't think he looks like someone from Gilead. Like he looks like.
I wonder how. That's what I was going to say. Is I wonder how he's going to play because I look at him and he just, to me, my own perspective,
further to the right. Like
he just looks like an insufferable prick. And I wonder what other people would think. Like, would the average person think he's a good-looking, smart young man, or would the average? I'm wondering. Would people think?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. He looks like a. I mean. I don't know what people.
Yeah, whatever.
I don't know. I guess I'm biased because I don't like fascists.
Yeah,
yeah. I don't like fascists who want to take control and push the great replacement theory and like wants to take women's rights away and pushes the same conspiracies like that Trump pushes. Like,
well,
I don't know. I just if somebody says to me, "You're just biased," yeah, I don't like those things that they stand for. That's why I'm biased.
Right. I'm separating that out.
I mean, like, that is literally what they are. I'm not going to. I don't care how they come off. I don't care if they're pleasant on stage. I mean, he seemed pleasant. He didn't seem offensive.
Right.
I think people should look into what he says and they should look into his record. And he put out some like weird clip. Like, it was like, hey, you feel like guilty of being white or something? It was like did you see that clip? And someone said it looked like like a bit that would have been in The Boys, like a satire
jeez.
video that Without would put
Yeah.
out, like with like Homelander or something. Yeah,
That guy's a
that
dick.
show is so good. You
It's a
gotta
good show.
finish.
I started
You gotta go
watching
back
it.
and watch the first seasons.
Yeah.
You need to watch I forgot what it's called, the one about the
Oh
high
yeah.
school. That
V5
was
or
I
yeah.
didn't think I was gonna like that. That was actually really good.
I've heard good things about that, but I've not seen it at all.
Okay. Yeah, you need to check those out.
Yeah.
So yeah, JD Vance. And again, you know, people should always ask Donald Trump, why did you have to pick another vice president? I think that's
Yeah.
an important question. I think that should be asked. Hey, Mr. Mr. Trump, I don't know
Yeah.
how you're from, former President Trump. Why did you have a falling out of some sort with Mike Pence? What
Yeah.
happened?
They should be asking that. It's just so crazy that that would happen, you know, that you'd swap out vice presidential candidates.
Yeah, why would he do that?
It's a
Oh, it's
mystery.
because he tried killing him.
Oh yeah,
He
that.
tried having Mike Pence killed.
Mm.
Oh, that okay. So yeah, the best of you said, like, wait, so Trump Pence, Trump Vance, literally
Right.
just two like,
letters. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know, people were like saying like Trump was like it wasn't his pick. I was like, I always felt like he was gonna pick Vance. I felt
Yeah, that seemed to me the leading candidate, you know.
no, I mean I
Um,
felt like that for months. Even you were like, I'll never be Vance. It'll be Tim
oh
Scott.
no, I thought I
You
never thought it'd
never
be
said
Tim
Tim
Scott.
Scott. You never said that.
I said I could see it being like Nancy Mace. And I
Yeah,
said
I
I
thought you
didn't
were smoking crack. I don't think she was even
I
at the. Was she even at the convention? I don't.
she was at the convention today, I
Did
think.
she speak?
Yeah, she was a speaker because I saw her speaking.
Ah, okay. You
I
say
forget
anything
what it
stupid?
was, but yeah, it was very stupid.
Did you see the best clip? I gotta find it. This is the funniest clip. So, well, what's her face spoke? Nikki Haley spoke, and I guess she said something about how Trump really wanted her there or something like that. And I guess the
Yeah.
camera went to Trump, and it looked like he was mouthing like, "No, I didn't." But let me find. This is so funny. This is DeSantis spoke, and this is why this clip is the reason why he will never, ever be president.
Mm.
Where is it? This thing was so fucking funny. Come on, man. Finding it.
Mm.
Did you
No,
what
nothing
did you
yet.
think of Ron DeSantis' speech?
I don't. He's just got so little dignity. It's hard to see.
Oh, here we go.
It's hard to see them do it over and over again. Like get up and speak up for Trump, even though you know they hate him.
Yeah,
But
here
whatever.
we go.
They can't even define what a woman is.
Okay. Wait.
They can't even define what a woman is.
Okay.
God.
That first of all, lame that he has to do this like anti-trans shit.
Yeah.
But like the whole they can't the voice crack. So that is he is done.
Yeah.
Like him saying they can't define what a woman is. Like while going through puberty or something on stage, he
Peter
quickly
Brady.
turned into a crusty burger kid. Oh, he drops he gets ruined. They're like, they're gonna take that on my paycheck. If I had a girlfriend, she'd be pissed.
God.
Oh, here we go. Here's Hulk Hogan.
When they took a shot at my hero.
Yeah, this really happened. Hulk Hogan.
God, so stupid.
It's only like a couple more seconds. He's ripping his shirt.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. The problem with Trumpomania is that Trumpomania actually did run wild.
Yeah.
It was called January 6th.
Right.
I think that if you're someone who watch, if you like, you're like, I don't know if I want to watch him. I didn't like what he did on January 6th. And then you got Hulk Hogan like,
Oh,
let Trump in, you run wild. Like, you just start
yeah.
thinking of like the Capitol being lit on fire, cops
That
getting
happened.
killed.
I think when Eric Trump introduced Donald Trump, he said he was a man of great conviction. And I was like, yeah, he's a
Any
man of
conviction.
34 great convictions. He's like,
Okay, so Vance speaks. That's that's third night.
yeah,
And again, it's very tepid, boring
yes,
speech, shaky, nervous. No, people said like the one thing is like this guy brings nothing to the ticket.
right.
He is not going to convert people into voting for Trump.
No,
Probably not. I don't like who's he
no,
gonna get? Ohio is not really a battleground state anymore. It's pretty much just northern Florida. So like
yeah. Some people were saying that this is kind of to secure the legacy. You get a young guy. Other people are saying it's specifically to block people like Ron DeSantis from getting an inside track.
I think
Um,
it really what it is money that
yeah,
Peter Thiel and Elon Musk will give Trump now a ton of money. He brings
true.
in all those tech bros. I remember this one guy's like, "Oh, he's gonna pick Vivek." I'm like,
No,
he
it's
will
never gonna
never
happen.
pick Vivek. And
Yeah.
the reason why is watch that interview that he
Mm,
did with Ann Coulter when she
yeah.
literally says, "I
Mm,
won't ever vote for you because you're brown."
nice.
She literally
Uh,
says that. She doesn't. I mean,
yeah.
she doesn't say brown, but she literally says, "I don't think of you as a first. You are a second
Right.
class human." Like that's the truth of this party. They're holding up
Mm,
signs, mass deportations now. All these fucking people
yeah. You
would
can't
be the
have that.
first to cry when like the restaurants they go to don't have a staff, the construction jobs don't get done, produce is empty in the stores.
Yeah.
Like they'll be the first to cry. First of all, you want to talk about a waste of money? How much money would it cost to get, like, how much time and money would it cost to get, and how much violence there would be in the streets
Mhm.
to get all these so-called immigrants out of the country?
Yeah, I don't know. You mean like permanently? Like,
Like, it's not realistic. They're holding up
yeah,
signs saying mass deportation now. You had Greg Abbott going out there saying that.
right.
Trump says he will remove all illegals from
Yeah.
this country.
Okay. Okay.
That is That's like he might as well just say build a wall again. That is
Yeah.
complete bullshit. And he's a liar.
Yeah.
Like
I mean, he
all
has
these
no
people,
intention of doing that.
all these jackasses are gonna be like, all right, well, hey, where's our nanny?
Mm.
Where's Carmela? She's supposed to clean the house. Oh, remember Trump deported them all.
Right. Yeah. Mm.
Can you
Oh.
clean? No, I don't know how to do
Yeah.
that. I don't know how to do anything.
I've lost all skills of modern living.
I have no ability. I rely on people that I think are less than me to do
Mm.
all the stuff I don't want to do. Oh, well, aren't we in a pickle now?
Mm. Yeah.
Like, it's so insane that that is an acceptable policy. I'm
Yeah.
going to deport, and the media doesn't like question it or like, yeah, this actually probably is not a good idea. I mean, first of
Right.
all, kind of goes against like supposedly what this country was supposed to be about. You know, give us your something poor, you're hungry, or
Yeah.
whatever, Statue of Liberty. You know, like and like all these meat packing companies that like
Hmm.
are in the bed with the Republican Party,
Oh.
they're not gonna have employees. Like
Mm.
it's so
No.
stupid.
They're
Okay,
gross.
last night at the RNC,
Yeah.
well, you had that amazing Hulk Hogan speech. Hulk
Right.
Hogan, you would think Hulk Hogan and he comes out and talk? You think you would have him on like maybe the first night?
I I don't know. Um, it wouldn't stun me.
What are you talking about?
You're talking about if he came out on that first night.
No, I'm saying that it would make sense if he was on the first night and not like the speaker
Oh
before
yeah.
Trump.
Right. Yes. No, I get it making sense for MAGA the way things have been going, but yeah, a speaker like him should be he should be on stage for like 30 seconds to announce a speaker. Like
Yeah.
I'm Hulk Hogan. Next, you'll hear from a guy who wrote a book, and then you go like that.
He wrote a book,
Brother.
brother. He's gonna Trump-a-maniacs come around wilding on you, and it's like, wow, thank you, Terry Bolla, for reminding me of like January 6th. That is like so insane. What an insane visual. Like people need to like do a video clip of like him over like January 6th and like Trump-a-maniacs go run wild on you. Like, yeah, we already saw that. We know they're violent and dangerous people. Thank you for you being a goofy carny,
right?
Ignoring the reality we experienced.
Yeah,
insane. Okay, then you had Kid Rock come out and he was saying like fight with like some of his other songs. Again, it's like Kid Rock.
Yeah, it's a while ago.
Who gives a fuck about him? Hulk Hogan too. When's Hulk Hogan been relevant?
Not for at least a dozen years or so, right?
Like I know, like the most recent thing that probably makes him relevant is he had that show on like he had a reality show for a bit.
I don't remember that one.
It was pretty big for a while. I can imagine people who are like in their 30s probably know what it is. They probably saw it when they were younger.
Right.
It was on like VH1 or something. It was like around the same time all those other reality shows were on.
Okay, yeah.
He was always trying to push his daughter, Brooke. Like he was always trying to like get her to be like the next Britney Spears. And it's just people just a little too big.
I remember this now. Yeah.
Yeah. He was, like I said, why is Hulk Hogan there? The only reason why he's there is because of Peter Thiel.
Yeah. Hey,
Peter Thiel, I guess, owns him or something. It's very weird. Well, like I said, there's that whole Gawker thing. Peter Thiel funded that lawsuit, and like they've always been connected. Everything about this convention is bizarre. And then like Dana White, like okay, it's a Republican convention, but really what you're watching here is like a court, and this was kind of like 2016 also too, and 2020 as well. It's like a coronation of Trump.
Yeah.
Like there's no party.
Nope.
Nobody's like bringing out like an elder statesman. No one's bringing out like Mitch McConnell to like honor him for all the horrible things he's done to the country. Like there's no celebration of the Republican Party.
Mm-hmm.
All for Trump. It is to like he comes out, he gives a speech. He talks no policy. It's all about him. He tells a story about all the blood coming out of him, all the ninjas that he fought on stage.
Jeez.
He does not. What policies does he have?
Yeah, that's the trick.
Did he even mention? He didn't say. He really avoided abortion. That was the one thing
he 100% avoided abortion. He talked about trade tariffs, like raising the prices on Asian cars.
He's basically like his whole I'll raise the tariffs to the point that you won't be able to sell your car here because people won't buy it because they can't afford it. I would imagine a lot of people would be pissed. They'd be like, actually, I like this car. Now I can't buy it. Like I've been buying these cars for years. They make a good car. Now I can't buy it because Donald Trump made it unaffordable. I'm not going to buy some piece of shit Ford or something. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I think, geez, it's just such a weird cult of celebrity, and these celebrities are past their expiration date.
Oh my God, they're staler than like they're still what to describe them as. It's like that cereal that guy would eat on that TikTok guy who died. He would eat like a 30-year-old.
Yeah,
like he would be Hulk Hogan right now, and he'd be like, "Man, this tastes stale as fuck." Hey, everybody, want to see me eat a can of Kid Rock? This is like 25 years old.
Yeah, Waffler 69, I think was his name.
Yeah, R.I.P. Yeah, I mean, like, it's, but like the whole thing is like you watching this speech. Have you seen any have you saw any media people like criticize it or talk about it or?
I've mostly seen them just sort of toe the party line. But I get the feeling that some of them will start talking about his speech tonight as being a negative thing. I don't know that for a fact, but that would be my guess because it was a pretty.
I can't imagine. I mean, unless you're like Sean Hannity and Fox News and Newsmax, but I'm talking about like the major networks.
Right.
If they are not saying that this was a bland, pointless speech that went on way too long, then they're
Yeah,
lying.
I'm seeing headlines in the New York Times. Trump reverts to attacks as he accepts the nomination. Let's see, the
That's a
Washington.
pretty milk toast.
Yeah,
That doesn't say anything.
yeah. The Washington Post. Geez, nothing major. There's a big section on fact checking his speech, though.
Yeah, why is Variety? Why is Donald Trump so fixated on Hannibal Lecter? Because he brought him up
Yeah,
again
he
tonight.
did. I saw that or heard that.
What was
Yeah,
he was trying to do like a thing about it or something?
Yeah.
Like he was trying to legitimize it.
I don't understand
He's saying
the mechanisms,
okay.
but yes, I think so.
He says that we are under. Okay, this is one of the biggest part of the speeches. This is probably the most standout to me. He said that we are seeing an invasion like any before.
Yep.
They are dumping asylum mental patients here. Terrorists are getting in, and they're not just getting through the border; they're getting through everywhere, like as if they are squeezing into
Right.
pockets of reality. He is creating this story that they could be dropping into the sky right now.
Right.
Now you got to remember the kind of people he's talking to, they will believe this.
Oh,
They believe,
wholeheartedly, yeah.
I remember this because when I moved to Texas, I remember they were doing this. There was this thing about some army exercise that was happening when Obama was president, and all these people were like, they're gonna pull us away and put us in FEMA camps. And it was the most deranged thing. So these fucking people believe everything Trump says. They believe that that the border itself is not even safe. The ports, they can get through our bloodstream.
Yeah.
They are like, do you ever see what was that book, Vonnegut, Slapstick?
Yeah, that was a
one
good one.
Where like China just gets smaller and smaller.
I believe so.
Like, they show up, they made themselves like half the size, and then it got to the point they got so small that they were like spores in the end. And that is what Trump is basically making it sound like it's a Vonnegut novel where we are being invaded by Hispanics and Muslims and any other thing he doesn't like. And they're just they might just show up like that witch in the acolyte that could turn into black smoke and then appear. Disappear in the black smoke and come back, and you're not gonna have a lightsaber to protect you.
Wow. Yeah.
Vote for me. I'm your lightsaber.
Oh, God.
It's deranged. It's fucking nuts.
Yeah, it is. It is.
That I thought was the most craziest part of the speech was that, because it was just like it was pure fantasy. Like, we're not even like that. If you do actual research, you will learn that immigration has actually gone down, that less people cross the border than they used to, and that Biden actually really cracked down. So he has to tick it up a notch. It's not just the border now. Now it's like this abstract invasion that is like cannot be easily defined. So if you say, well, actually, the border is actually very protected. Biden's actually, I don't agree with his immigration policy. Actually, I think it's a little too harsh. And actually, immigration has gone down because not many people want to cross over here like they used to. And then it's like, no, you don't know. See, they're doing a trick. They're actually swimming around. They actually know how to. They don't go on the border. They swim on the side of the Pacific coast. And then they come through Canada. What's Joe Biden doing on the Canadian border?
Right. Not much.
I'm trying to think of like other deranged shit. Like I said, I thought Sam Cedar's whole like he sounds like he's at a wedding giving a speech.
That was funny,
accurate. It did not feel like a political speech. It didn't feel like
it's probably a successful one then.
What?
It was probably successful then, like to some extent. Well, just because like people would see it as genuine, even though it
wasn't.
But
yeah. I mean, you're supposed to get the crowd going and talk about we're gonna do this, and we're gonna do this.
Yeah,
and
you need someone like Flavor Flav, like a hype man.
No, I'm saying it. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe not. You're not.
I don't think you understand what I'm saying. I'm saying
Okay.
that a normal political speech at the
Right.
RNC or the Democratic, any convention, whatever, the candidate would come on stage, talk a little bit, and then they would go through all the policies they want to do. And
Yeah.
as they would do it, the crowd would go wild. Trump didn't do any of that. It was just a weird stream of conscience.
And you and I talked a little bit about this kind of on text and before we started recording. I thought Trump, the first several minutes of Trump's speech were okay. They were boring, but they were just fine. Like, it was not what I was expecting. I was like, okay, this is a speech. It's not a good one.
He was just talking about his
his wound, yeah.
and all
And
the
then,
blood.
but then
everyone's covered in his blood.
Then he starts talking about crazy Nancy Pelosi and his kids were unfairly subpoenaed and all the rails come off.
Oh yeah. Everyone, the Democrats are behind all the. Yep.
And then just like you had said, he just rambles. There's no clear destination. He's just bringing up topics as they come into his head. And
it is literally that
over.
guy who plays Trump on SNL now. That one dude. He does like an incredible impression because he nails. See, you had Alec Baldwin do his little impression. It was like, okay, this guy does a perfect Trump because he nails the ADHD, the stream of conscience, the story that goes into another story, then becomes another story. Like, that guy is great. He just nails Trump's and I didn't see this yet, but AOC put out an hour-long video basically saying she shared her grave concerns with replacing Biden. She said she thinks it's a bad idea.
I tend to agree, but I would also, I waver on this one. So
I just want to hear what I'll listen to it later. I'm curious what she has to say about it because
historically, if you replace,
she has her points.
Yeah. Well, I think one of the interesting things is like Bernie and AOC are both come out pretty strong in support of Biden. I think Biden is a sneakily progressive.
He's been great on the unions. That was the other thing.
Yeah.
There was a guy. Did you see the union guy speak at the RNC?
Fucking disgusting.
What is that about? No, that was fucking weird. People were trying to like cover for him, like, he's got it. Like, this is actually a brilliant move to go to the RNC and talk. But it's like, it's in a weird part of it where most people usually don't, like, most normal people watch it usually like the last hour. They want to see like the VP, they want to see the president, they want to see like, whatever head of the night.
Yes.
They're not watching the random speeches from people. So you have this guy go out there and he's trying to act like, oh, we're not owed to the Democrats.
Right.
And it's like, I didn't get it. And this was the guy that got into a fight with that Republican senator who, remember, it was about like job, like the guy was trying to claim like he had a business, whatever. And he, you were given that business something. And he was like, I'm going to fight you. It got like really pathetic.
Yeah, I remember that.
I don't know. I could see like him going there and talking like, is it a good thing? But I also think like, that's like the same argument gets made like going on like someone like Joe Rogan or something.
Yeah.
And like it's only good to go on there if you have the intention of never coming back.
Yeah, I could see that.
Say everything that you need to say. You don't mince words. You don't try to be friendly with them. You use their platform. You get it out, and you go on there knowing that you probably will never be asked back. Right. I feel like he didn't do that. I felt like he was trying to butter them up a bit and try to make like the people that are to be blamed a little blameless. And that's why I wasn't crazy about this guy's speech. It wasn't.
Yeah, no, I could see that.
And it's like, again, it's like, what's the point? Like, these guys are not receptive to unions. Like, they literally
they won't be.
They help businesses find ways of how to get rid of unions.
How to bust a union,
yeah. Like, that is literally their MO. They are anti-union. Like, yes, there are people in unions that vote Republican. That's a fact.
Sure. Yeah.
The union as a whole, though, is
Yeah, I've got
Republicans are literally spent the past decades trying to make sure unions have no strength.
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay, so I mean, anything else stand out?
No, I think the big glaring question. I mean, I covered all the main points that I wanted to make about this. The one glaring question that's left is what do the Democrats do with Joe Biden? And
I would say though, after watching
yeah,
this very milquetoast convention, watching JD Vance being this
yep,
like this
yeah, kind
just
of timid, kind of
again,
nervous. Yeah,
just not very charismatic, just a whatever, a blank nothing. Someone made a joke that like Trump hates beards, and they think that he would have made him shave his beard. But then he probably saw like old clips of Vance when he
right.
was on TV with no beard, and he was like, you know what?
Keep the beard.
I think you should keep the beard. Yeah, in this example, you're gonna keep the beard. Dude, I still can't get over some parts of the speech. He sounds like Jimmy Glick, the Martin Short
Yeah, I
character.
can see that. Right.
There
Yeah.
was some parts. It's so weird, his voice. Like, he's such a
Uh,
dandy. Like, and then like, of course, he has to throw in towards the end. He throws in the women's sports thing, which I'm just
okay.
like. And I think one of the comments I did see was, how was this speech any different from his 2020
Yeah.
and his 2016?
It
I
was
would
the
say, if
same.
anything, it was probably more subdued.
Yeah, but it wasn't like restraint. It was just like low energy.
Yeah,
I think.
right. That's
Yeah.
what I mean. Yeah,
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
like, yeah, they'll say it's restrained. I would say, no, I think he's older and it's
Yeah.
like low energy.
Yeah.
I
No,
don't
I
think
agree.
there's like, that's why the joke about like kicking by, it's like they watch this speech and they're like, do we have to kick him out? But like I
Right.
said, like, do we
Yeah.
have to? I mean,
No,
maybe the next debate will just be the two of them sleeping.
could be.
That would be a pretty intense debate. Like,
Yeah.
they're just sleeping, one of them farts. You just hope it was not the one you're
Right.
voting for.
Oh fuck.
Oh man, when they fall asleep and that guy farted, that sucked.
Uh,
When
yeah.
he murmured "mommy"
God.
on stage, like that could potentially be one of the debates. Is
Yeah, I
both
might
of them
actually see that.
sleeping? That is a possibility. Again, these dudes are old. You just get
Yeah,
older. It's like so ridiculous.
it is.
This is like a nightmare. Was it nightmare blunt rotation?
Yes. Yeah.
What does that mean? Nightmare blunt rotation. It's just like passing a doobie around to like
I think so, yeah.
people
Yeah.
or something. Like people you don't want to actually be doing that with.
Right, right.
I
A
gotta,
worst case scenario.
dude, so many people are posting Iron Sheik stuff now.
Oh, so good.
The Iron Sheik account, he's been dead for a couple of years.
Yeah, yeah.
But the Iron Sheik account, let's see. Let me see if I can play this.
There's some classics.
Mr. Hogan, you are a pig. See, what I always liked about the Iron Sheik is that he was a character, but
Yeah.
I really think he really thought he was the Iron Sheik.
I
And
think so too.
and I really think he thought that Hulk Hogan was his enemy.
Yeah, here's one who says he'd post them all the time. I don't think I retweeted this one. Fuck the Hulk Hogan. He looked like a dumb pirate son of a bitch.
Oh, here we go. Variety's got a good headline about it. In a rambling convention speech, Donald Trump did what he does best. He talked, and talked, and talked, and talked. That's the headline. Let me see if I can find any others. I think with the whole, we're gonna end this soon, but I think the whole thing about AOC and Biden and Bernie, it's smart of them to not try to push Biden out. And like you said, it's probably because they see him as a progressive. And the problem is, if he gets pushed out, that the shittier, more corporate elements of the Democratic Party could see this as an opportunity to take advantage. I feel like Kamala could be just as progressive as Biden, maybe more. I don't know. But maybe
Well,
they see things different. Who knows? You know?
I think she would want to be progressive in the way Biden has been progressive. You know what I mean? Biden has not been flashy progressive. You know, he's not gone as far as I would like in some areas, but in a lot of really meaningful and significant ways, he's been very progressive, and I like that. You know, he's put in good judges. He's put in
He's a lot more progressive than we thought we'd be. Like I said,
yes,
not happy with like the Israel thing, but I
right,
think the reality is
yeah.
I think everyone would be disappointed with any president that would be involved with the Israel thing. That is just
And
the
that cuts
unfortunate
both
fact.
ways, because if he started going very pro-Palestine, which I would want him to, then you run the risk of getting to the point where you start,
But you don't even
upset.
have to run. You don't even have to say you're pro-Palestine. You could just say to Israel,
Yeah, stop.
"Get
Yeah,
the fuck
stop.
out.
Right.
Stop."
Yeah,
Like
you
this
made your
is
point. Stop.
you already blew up 12 hospitals.
Right.
Like
You're killing kids. You know, I
you're
mean,
literally just like punching jelly right
yeah,
now.
yeah.
Whatever
I
that
mean,
person was that was there, the bones, the blood,
you're not even
they're
achieving your goals anymore. Yeah,
you're actually hurting yourself now by you're just punching the
yeah.
ground.
Honestly, yeah. So
Like you don't have to come out and say like Allah Akbar, whatever.
no, you don't. Right.
You don't have to say like hold the and I don't know. That's a joke with the Allah Akbar because that's like some like I think it's from like the fuck like
I think it means God is good.
I don't know. Whatever. It's the point being though is like yeah, Biden's not have to be waving a Palestinian flag. It's more of just like hey, chill the fuck out.
Right. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
if we find you guys like preventing us from like giving aid to these people, we're gonna cut your funding. Like
Yeah.
that's it. That doesn't make you like it doesn't have to go that far. Of course, the right would turn it into like, you know, they would put like they would dress up Biden as like a sheik or something ridiculous, some
You could even do it
nonsense.
both ways. You could say, look, Israel, we are giving you more defensive weapons, but we're
Oh,
also going to deliver food. So
this is the Biden Harris headquarters account
yeah.
goes Trump goes off script to praise Hannibal Lecter, a cannibal who is not real.
The late great Hannibal Lecter.
It doesn't even
So
make
funny.
it like late great. Like wait, people like did Hannibal Lecter die canonically?
Right.
I don't think there was ever a story.
I
Like,
don't think so.
is
I
he
don't think he
not? Did he
did.
get like a? Did someone leak a script or an early like a book to him? Like he knows
I
that
think he just
Hannibal
disappeared
died.
into Italy or something. Oh, anyway, whatever.
Well,
He's a
that
fake
was in the
person.
first movie. The second one, he did come back. Remember Hannibal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So stupid. It was
It's
like
so
the
stupid.
dumbest thing.
Whatever.
It's beyond dumb. So yeah, I just want to see real quick if I can find any other headlines, and then we'll just wrap this up.
Yes. All right.
All
Yeah.
right, this is from Ben Macelis. I think I'm saying his name wrong, but
Okay.
Donald Trump said the following in his RNC speech. He asked if people knew his friend, the late great Hannibal Lecter. He praised Hungary's authoritarian leader, Viktor Orban. Viktor Orban visited him recently.
Yeah.
That was before the assassination attempt. He said North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un missed him. He attacked the UAW, which I'm sorry, that's a big deal. You have that union guy there, but he did attack the UAW.
Yep.
He called COVID the China virus, which
Right.
is fucking insane. He said he was buying votes in Wisconsin.
Yeah, I did hear that.
But Scott Walker was still the governor of Wisconsin. He said he was going to take over the auto industry. He called Nancy Pelosi crazy Nancy. Whatever. He said he wanted to hold the next Republican convention in Venezuela.
That's right. I remember that.
He spread lies about the 2020 election.
Yeah.
That he should be like get citations for that or whatever. Like if he should be like sent to prison anytime he tries to like bring up the 2020 election now. He bragged that the Taliban called them Your Excellency and said they probably don't call President Biden that.
Oh God.
Like that's a weird.
It's a weird
like,
flex. Yeah.
Hey, call me Your Excellency. You think Biden would give it? Like
No.
it's so fucking weird. Let me see if there's like any other. Let me see if I can find any other ones. You fighting the invaders, Joseph?
A fly just came by me. Yeah,
Well, according to Trump, that could be
could be.
actually an
Yeah,
immigrant who's taken a form of a fly.
could be a bullet. Could be a bullet.
Could be, yeah, yeah. I'm trying to see if I can't find any of the headlines right
Yeah.
now. All right. Well, actually, I'm going to look up the New York Times. Did you say you looked up the New York Times?
New York Times, they had an early one up. The Washington Post is Trump accepts GOP nod in lengthy speech, which is kind of like a little bit of a dig. And the New York Times one was
This one's from
Trump reverts to attacks as he accepts nomination.
This is from a day ago, though. The unbelievable. On the same night the RNC distributed Emancipation Now signs, NBC anchor praised the GOP for toning down their rhetoric.
Oh, Lord. Unreal.
This is from NBC News. It was a long speech. Some people fell asleep that were around us.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Someone said Hulk Hogan gave what I would say is probably the best speech at this convention so far. I would agree. That was probably the best one. That's not saying much.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll talk about next week. If there's any bullshit headlines from this. And
next week I'm going to be out of town.
Oh, well, never mind. No episode next week.
Yeah, that is the week I'm going to be in Arizona. In 100.
Joseph, you shouldn't tell people where you're going. The people that listen to this podcast are obsessed with us. They always love buying us coffees all the time. You can find the link.
Yep.
They are obsessed with buying us coffees. They don't stop. And I'm telling them, please stop. But they don't listen. So you guys listen. Please stop buying us coffees. We really appreciate if you just,
we're overcaffeinated.
If Joseph tells you his coordinates of what he's going to do in Arizona, then the goats are just going to follow him everywhere he goes. So it's probably best he doesn't tell people where he's going to be. I heard he's actually going to be in Nevada.
Yes, Alabama. It was another.
He's going to Alabama. Joseph will be at 3 different places at once, and you'll have to find out.
Right.
You can only stay corporeal in some at one time.
Yes, I am taking along my computer, but my plan is to be otherwise occupied next week, and we'll see. Well, we'll be in touch, and we'll see if anything.
Well, probably. I guess we'll see. Maybe that might be like a short one, depending on what happens. Yeah. But if not, we'll be back the next week. It is summertime, so
yeah.
All right. Well. You know what? I will say this before we wrap this up. I feel better.
Yes.
Glad that he gave such an underwhelming, boring speech, but I still think the media, and when I say media, I mean corporate media is the fact is they want Trump back.
They're in the bag for Trump. Oh, absolutely.
They're in the bag for Trump. There's a lot of money to be made under Trump for these big corporations.
Yes.
And this is money that is going to be made does not benefit you or me or anyone listening to this podcast unless you're David Zaslav. And if you're David Zaslav, but please buy us a coffee.
Right.
Link is in the bio. Don't be skinflint. David Zaslav. Feel free to buy us lots of coffee.
There you go.
All right. Well, on that note, I'm Rob Israel.
I'm Joseph K.
You still going on about
that?
Thank you for listening to You Still Going On About That. Please like, comment, share, and if you haven't done already, please follow us on Instagram, YSGOAT, Facebook, YSGOAT, and Twitter, YSGOAT. Thank you, and have a great day. Thank you for listening to You Still Going On About That. Please like, comment, share, and if you haven't done already, please follow us on Instagram, YSGOAT, Facebook, YSGOAT, and Twitter, YSGOAT. Thank you, and have a great day.